I'll be right back. I'm finna go take these meds, so I won't get in my little coughing fit.
Yeah, take your time, man.
Here we go.
If you have a hockey, you can use the hockey to mute whenever you're about to cough.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh man, this FTC deal got Kratos under the weather. Oh shit.
Hey,
Oh shit.
hey, one thing about me though, they know they ain't gonna run me nowhere through sickness, through health. I'm gonna be there fighting.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Yo, P-Rock, you good? You've been stuttering lately, bro. This FTC got you stuttering?
Who? You know this never bothered me.
Man.
Listen, you cannot stop a person who wants to play where he wants to play. I'm unstoppable.
Facts.
If there's a game and I want to play it, I will play it. I cannot be stopped. You know what I'm saying? If anything, Microsoft actually made it easier for me to not buy an Xbox console than ever before. Normally, if they would have kept if they kept everything exclusive to their console, then I'd be like, damn, I gotta get me an Xbox console, which I usually would I do before. But before it wouldn't have been a problem because the OG Xbox was a dope console. The 360 was a dope console. You know, everything went downhill with the Xbox One, bro. That's when it's like, man, this brand sucks.
I miss how the OG Xbox looks, honestly. It looks crazy and just out of this world. And I like that. It's just a big X, bro.
It was so big. It was big. That thing was huge.
I thought. Did you also think this? You thought that you press the top part and you turn on?
That's what I thought. I was like, yeah. I was like,
yeah.
I thought so too.
That thing was a monster. Oh
yeah.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
Go see. What's up, E4? Is he up in the room? He's in the chat. Yo, E4, what you doing in the chat? You got lost or something?
Hey, bro, get up in here. What's going on?
Oh man,
he doesn't want to have anything to do with this.
You're talking all that smack all these weeks that you don't care, and now this and that and the third. Now you gotta come up here and take it, bro.
Oh shit. Oh snap. Anyway, what's going on, my friends, my family? Hold up, is camera right? Let's see. It's like, there we go. What's up, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? This is your only friend in these YouTube streets, Puertorock77. Welcome to another episode of 60 Frames No Lag. I think this is 245 right here. Wow, out of all days, the verdict is in. I had to change the title. I was like, I was about to kick this shit off with, why these Xbox stands bashing Baldur's Gate when anybody mentions it. They automatically attribute to you like, oh my god, you're shit talking about Xbox. And people are like,
bro,
what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just talking about Baldur's Gate. Yo, anyway.
Watch Baldur's Gate 3 come on Game Pass and they're going to be like, oh my god, bro. Fuck yeah, we got Starfield and Baldur's Gate. Oh my god.
Oh, shit, But anyway, we're gonna kick it off. But we're gonna kick this off with the panel. We got homie Jay. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, brother? What's up, man? Been busy.
What you been
playing?
I saw you got the 4070.
Oh yeah, I upgraded to the 4070.
Oh, why you upgraded from?
3070 Ti.
Okay,
I was good. Like there was no need for me to upgrade, but there's a few things that I wanted to move out. There's a few reasons why I wanted to move out of the 30 series. One of them is power consumption. The 30 series pulls a lot of power
because it's frame generation.
Frame generation is dope. I tried it and it's cool. I don't see it working on competitive fields though, but it's cool. And I went back and I'm replaying Assassin's Creed 3 again. Because last time I played that shit was on the 360 way back.
Yeah, made it.
So playing it again, bro, it's good. And today, I think it was today, I bought Miles Morales and I bought Days Gone. I want to play those games.
There you go, man. Support your fellow PlayStation brothers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Support.
Days Gone has real good mods on it. So.
Yeah, I already played Spider-Man PS4 multiple times on my PS4 back then, so I don't need to buy it. But I haven't played Miles.
Okay, that's a good game.
Well, you never played Miles?
No, I only played the original one, the PS4 one.
Hold up, the one that has the Puerto Rican in it, you didn't play? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. The exaggerated swagger of a black tea.
Hey man, just how extreme don't want to play Final Fantasy because of what the director said. I didn't want to play because of the IGN review saying the black swagger and shit. I was like, hey yo,
got that black swagger. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't want to play with the
I'm just
exaggerated
saying,
swagger
man.
of a black tee.
Yeah, now it got updated. And they changed the swagger a little bit.
They
Now it's
took
more
the
Puerto
swag
Rican.
away. They took the swag.
They could have.
There's a mod you can make it more Puerto Rican like.
That's what I'm saying. We need that mod. You know, because when he says, you know that he loves his mom, he says it like he just learned Spanish. Te quiero. I'm like, boy, roll that R, bro. Roll that goddamn R, bro. Roll the R, bro. Like, what are you doing? His mom should have slapped him, bro. Te quiero, te quiero, te quiero.
That's bullshit, bro.
Roll that R, mofo, bro. You gotta, yo. I wanted to slap him. I'm like, yo, who taught you? Who taught this dude Spanish?
To be fair, I don't think he's Latino, right? The voice actor.
No, not the voice actor isn't Latino.
Yeah, to be fair, bro.
The actor, yeah.
That's
I'm just saying, but you gotta play. Hey, no, that's not an excuse. Because look, you ever seen the first, not the old school Shaft, but the first Shaft with
Rudy Roundtree.
No, not that one. That's old. I'm talking about the one with oh my God, what's
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson. You ever seen that one? You ever seen Call Me Jay? You ever seen? But you ever? How about you, Jay? You ever seen that?
No, I don't think so.
So you gotta see that Shaft, right? Because that Shaft, one of the bad guys is this dude who played Batman. He's one of the bad guys. Christian Bell. He plays this white rich racist kid, right? Yeah. And then the other bad guy is his name is.
Who's the lead?
The lead is Shaft. But the lead is Shaft. But he has two bad guys. He has Christian Bell's character, who's this rich white kid who killed a black kid, and he's like racist as fuck. Right, and then the other bad guy is a drug dealer. His name is People Salazar, right?
Yeah,
a Dominican.
He's playing a Puerto Rican character.
He's playing Dominican.
Oh yeah.
But the actor who did it is Jeffrey Wright, the guy who did Martin Luther King in Selma. But you gotta see him. That shit is.
You're talking about the 2000 movie?
Yes, you gotta see him.
There's a few of them.
You gotta see
with Samuel Jackson.
But you gotta see him. The first one. It's called Shaft. It's the first one.
Okay.
With him, it's the first one, and then I think he did like 2 and 3, but the first one, and the bad guy is People Salazar. Yo, that shit, he's in Uptown. He's a Dominican drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was.
So you gotta see it. You gotta see that, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't know the dude was a black actor. Yo, he played it. Yo, this shit is funny. This shit is funny. One time, and the reason why I saw it because I saw him. I think it was in. I saw him in. It was either because I know he played in James Bond, but I think when I first saw him Jeffrey Wright. I think that when I first saw him, I think it was Selma where he played as multiple. Yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That's Peoples.
Yep.
How you go from Dominican drug dealer from Washington Heights to rights activist? That's acting right there. That's high level profile acting right there. That's a man with a wide range of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was in the Craig Harris James Bond movie.
Yeah, also him. So he was in the Craig. Yes. So that's it.
Royale and shit.
My man was People Salazar. So look at that. From CIA agent to black activist to Dominican drug dealer. The man has range.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
The man has range. He can do it all. But it's good to hear, bro. All right.
Before I finish my intro, chat, hit the like button. Come on.
Hit the like button, y'all.
There you go. The Messiah.
Yeah.
What happened, man? You told me FTC was gonna block the deal.
Oh, I did not.
He did?
Oh yeah, you did.
Hey,
no, I said they made I thought they made a good case. Even the judge said they made a good case. This guy's
you a better lawyer than the FTC. He a better lawyer than the FTC. Look at him. Look at him lawyering it out. Look at him. No, what I said on the record, Your Honor.
That's what I said.
He a better lawyer than the damn man you should have been working for the FTC.
So I think J-Dub made a tweet last night on Twitter. I'm like, no, I talked to 2 out of 3 people. Said this deal, it's already gone through. It's just a matter of getting the decision out. So the Wall Street Journal actually let the monkey out of the bag when they said to invest or that they were bullish on Activision stock. That meant that pretty much meant and then I got multiple stock alerts. I'm like, well, I already have stock in Microsoft, the parent company, apparently. So but again, that judge's interpretation was perfect. I thought based on what she heard, And the FTC can appeal. They have 72 hours. So to get ready to appeal. So yeah, but no, I've been playing Forbidden West. I can see why people decided they wanted Aloy to munch, and but yeah, play that. Play a little bit of Madden. Finish Mass Effect 1. Yeah, the Burning Shores extension. Yeah, that game's stunning. The way it's golly, I'm just blown away by the way it looks. But yeah.
But it's not on Game Pass though.
It is not on Game Pass, Chris. I had to pay. I had to pay. It's on Plus.
What a loser! Plus. You paid, bro. Oh my god! I get my shit for free.
Well, not really. I've had Game Pass. Nothing on there free. But isn't Call of Duty on Plus this month? Is it Black?
Oh, yeah, it's on Plus.
Cold War.
Yeah,
Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War. Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, I mean, I thought what the judge said was fair, and that. The remedy that
this is the intro. This is the intro. Intro.
Oh, my bad. All right, but that's what I'm playing. I'm good.
my man. Right in.
Before you move on, chat. Listen up, chat. Keep an eye on our voices and see who sounds very loud and let us know in the chat so that P-Rock can he can fix it. Because for us, they all sound fine, but for you, let us know who sounds really loud, and so P-Rock can turn them down or turn them up. So keep an eye out.
Let them know. Let them know because somebody may get double life.
All right. Here we go. Chocolate Thunder.
Sometimes, every
that makes E4 Extreme very uncomfortable because he still doesn't know who Chocolate Thunder is.
No, I don't even want to.
He doesn't.
I don't even want to at this point. Yeah.
Hey, E4, my brother from Down Under.
What's up?
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you. So you know how we talked about. All right, so you know how last week I talked about Final Fantasy and potentially why there's probably no black people in there? And I said, the game has like little influences on slavery and the branded.
Yeah.
So as I get deeper in the game, it's most definitely that.
Absolutely.
Listen, that shit is like, it's almost like watching American history. Like, bro, it's like there's no way they would have black people in this game. There's no fucking way. Bro, it's like bad.
Instead of it being...
I was like, they're really... I'm playing the game. Jay Barty even warned me. I'm like, this is really... They really saying this shit? Like, this shit's really happening in this game? I'm like, there's no way they would have black people in this. I can only imagine that outrage. Like, bro, I'll give you...
You're telling me if I was the designer, I wouldn't put black people in
this. You wouldn't have done that. You would have been like, once you would have read the script, you'd be like, yeah, I get it. You'd be like, yeah, I get it. It's like, they treat them like shit. Like bad in the game. Like the game's not holding back. Outside, like, I'm like, we're like 4 steps away from saying the N-word with the hard R at this point. I'm like, at one point, like, that's the only thing missing at this point. I'm like, I'm watching Django Unchained up in this mother. I'm like, it's like watching Leonardo DiCaprio up in here. The way they talk about the branded in the game, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, now I'm seeing why they didn't want no black people. I would have said the truth. I'd be like, bro, wait till you play the game. You'll know why.
For the record, Leonardo never said the N-word. He was saying nigwa. That's what he was saying. He was saying nigwa.
The same shit, bro.
I know, but that's the way he said he could get over saying it because he never wants to have to play that role again. Blah, blah, blah. He's dating 18-year-olds.
I'm just saying, but Extreme, you got to play the game and you'll be like, oh my God.
I did tell you though, P-Rock. That's why I think they didn't incorporate it.
One more time.
They did most definitely did not incorporate black people in that game. When there's one scene, I'll screen this because this is only a side story. Like there's a little side story quest where a girl asks you to find, I think Charlie, and you think it's like her dog. But then as you go through the thing,
that's a slave.
You find a little girl and she's turning. So what happens?
Spoiler alert.
Well, it's a little side quest. There's nothing big, right? It's nothing like in terms of the game, right? But the little girl is dead because what happens with the branded? Well, I don't want to say what happened, but anyway, the girl is dead. So
who's dead? Charlie's dead.
Yeah, Charlie's dead. And then the little girl that sent you on a mission, she's like, "Get up, Charlie! You can't die yet." I didn't, she's like talking shit. She's treating this little girl as a piece of thing, and your character's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "That's a human being." She's like, "No, she's not." Like, Daddy says she doesn't even have parents. Like, hey, yo. I'm like, yo, what's up with this game? I'm like, yo. I'm like, I'm just waiting for the hard R. I'm like, this girl's 2 sentences away from. I'm like, bro, this shit was wild. I'm like, yep. Now I know why there's no black people in this game. There's no convincing me. Like, bro, if they would have had just one black person, if that girl would have had the black skin tone, that shit would be all over the internet.
Yeah.
All over the internet. The whole game would have been like racist undertone. Yo, am I lying, J-Dub? You play the game.
Yeah. No, that literally what it is. The branded, instead of saying black, it's the branded.
They call branded. Yeah, branded is the N-word, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh my
branded,
god.
it is. When you think about it, brand is the N-word for that game. I'm like, wow,
You're telling me
bro.
that 3/5 of a person?
I'm telling you, they don't even claim them that. They claim them as tools because the branded could do magic.
Yeah,
so that's how they
use their
utilize
powers. Yeah, they use their powers and stuff too.
Yo, it's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, he said nice.
Nice.
Only because it's white people, huh?
Yeah, you told me.
Now you're really gonna play it.
Nice.
That's kind of terrible. Yo, this show's getting shut down. Oh shit, we're in trouble. Anyway, what you been up to, Extreme?
Yo, what have I been up to? I have been playing God of War and Rogue Legacy 2. Yeah, still on my God of War. Taking it slowly, I've already played the game, already beat the game. So I'm just, enjoying the environments, playing photo mode as a movie gamer, that's what we care about. Enjoying those cutscenes, and I love those gameplays.
Enjoying the cutscenes, you love your movie games.
Exactly, I'm a movie gamer, that's what I am.
Hey, I can't wait to
easy mode.
I can't wait to talk about. I can't wait to talk the topic of Black Panther with Extreme.
Yo,
I can't wait.
Go.
Oh, Wakanda forever.
And it's a single player. It's not gas, so that's gonna piss off Jay Bari. And speaking of Jay Bari, my brother, bro, what's going on? One of the dynamic duo of the best PlayStation podcasts on YouTube. What's up, PlayStation? Every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. Busy day out here in these gaming streets and just personal life. But I see the title. I seen the tweets, and we definitely gonna tackle that mall. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all hit the like button, share the stream out, and let's get it popping, man.
Listen, man, I gotta really go into overdrive with Final Fantasy 16 because we're like 2 weeks away from the tournament, man, and I haven't been practicing much on my new controller. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me show you. Buddy.
Yeah, what new controller?
This is what I bought.
Yeah, he bought a controller to play on modern controls.
No, I bought a controller so I don't play on modern controls. So I got this.
Oh, okay.
But I needed this. I needed 6 face buttons.
So you got the
because the PS5 controller. I'm gonna be honest, it's not really that good for fighters. Like it felt.
Wait, I don't like the D-pad on it. Honestly,
I like this. Well, on the for the PS5. Yeah,
the DualSense D-pad to me is weird, and like to fight games, like it's kind of shaped weird to me.
And like overall, I love this controller for gaming, but when it came to playing Street Fighter, it felt like the PS4 felt more compact. So I was able to do it felt like I could do combos easier. This one, it was really challenging for me to do a lot of combos for Ken's move, which is why, up until I got that controller, I was playing on modern controls. And modern controls is fun. But there's too many movesets that I use that they scratch off. So I was like, I can't play in modern controls for the long term. So it was good for a little while.
I have a question because
that's why I bought
you bought that one. Right. You bought that one because it has 6 face buttons.
Yes.
Isn't it? Is it more comfortable to play like that than to just map the L1 and R1?
Yes. Because for some reason, doing directional and this is not as intuitive for me as using my thumb.
I agree.
I'm able to react faster this way than this way. What I map is like the drive. But for like combos, I'm more easier to use my thumb as part of a combo sequence by doing this.
I see that
as a combo sequence. I'm more comfortable doing it this way than this way. That shit's gonna be clipped. Yaguiro's gonna end up doing something weird with it, but it is what it is. But this is the Hori is really good.
It's horrible.
No, it's awesome. I love it. But what screwed
What's
me
the brand
over
story?
is I was playing modern controls for so long that now it's like I have to do extra practice with classic controls. So it feels like I felt like my skills. I don't know. It felt weird going back to classic. So now it's harder for me to practice. But anyway, Final Fantasy 16. I'm playing it, but I gotta get through. I gotta beat it because time is ticking. And I see y'all in the lab. I'm like, shit. I'm like, God damn it. I'm trying to get that 650, right? That's the pot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 650.
650?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get
that's enough for a new motherboard.
I'm trying to get this 650, and like half the people are using what's her name, Manan?
Oh yeah, Manana. Yeah,
She's OP, bro. Yo, that kick and win move. Oh my God, she reminds me of Sagat when Street Fighter 4 came out. You remember when 4 came out for the first time? Jesus Christ, that dude was OP.
The thing is with Manan, a lot of things that she do, a lot of her strings are unsafe, so you can punish them, but it's like you can't just like go crazy and unga bunga with her. You gotta have like a kind of game plan. But when you do have a game plan and you know how to condition somebody, she's pretty OP.
I'm saying, she's OP. Yeah, she's one of the few characters that you can make a quick comeback with like 3 or 4 moves. Because I seen it. I seen guys like in the beginning they had the advantage, then just 3 or 4 moves, game over. I'm like, yo, this chick is OP, bro.
Yo, P-Rock.
What's up?
So J Bari and J Dub, they are both like the most that sound very loud. So on your end, turn them down a tiny bit on the Discord.
Oh yeah.
I'm loud.
No, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Not for me.
I'll take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's like it sounds great in the room.
Bro told me I'm loud.
Yeah, for us, like here.
Yeah,
bro told me I'm loud, and I ain't even saying nothing yet.
I know, right? He didn't even talk. How he loud?
No, but when you spoke before,
they're trying to keep the branded down. That's what is going on here.
That was before the show, man. That was before the show.
He didn't even do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Anyway, AJ Barry,
man, I'm trying to silence him before he starts talking about about Xbox. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
Shit! Hey yo, Barry, I know you platinum like as you should. You platinum 15. So what's on the docket now? You back to COD? You back to Call of Duty?
Yeah, well, today I just finished my review for the game, so that was a long process.
Is the video out?
Nah, it's not out yet. Just waiting for it to get published and waiting for the 4K 60 to finish rendering and all that.
Yeah.
Back on like Street Fighter. Back on Street Fighter. I've been playing a little bit of COD as well, and also getting back into VR with Synapse. So it's pretty much what I've been doing.
All right. So no FTC action. You haven't been watching C-SPAN?
No, I haven't been watching any of that. I seen the tweets though. Okay. I seen some crazy takes. There might be a little disagreements here in how I feel PlayStation should go with this news. Right. And hopefully I make it clear for everybody that it's a different ball game now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. When we get to that, Puertorock, this real fast. When we get to that, check my Twitter. I just broke some news on how this is what the Sony's about to do with the FTC. But when we get to it, when you get to it, I know you're still going around.
All right, okay. So now we got the antagonizer in chief. Listen. Me and J-Dub, we got together and we strategized. This dude went around the world. I told him, listen, the 2 key territories you need to go to Canada and finally get that damn Jamaican, we need to get D-Batch on our side. Get his ass on our team, get him a contract. Talk to the Canadian authorities, get them to block the deal. Then I need you to go to England, get up with Gaz, and tell them, listen, Puertorock has an offer, and this offer is how would you say cannot be refused. So just sign. Man. What happened, man?
Look, man. Listen, Puertorock telling y'all what the plan was, right? I had my crowbar in my backpack. You know what I'm saying?
He needed more Haitians with machetes. He didn't have enough.
Listen, I did my job. That's all I got to say, man. Listen, I traveled all over the world, man. I put my passport to good use. it is what it is. But one thing, seriously though, none of this shit matters. You know why? You know why it don't matter?
I know it does because Chocolate Thunder
listen.
got double life.
No, listen.
Oh, okay.
Literally a month ago, Phil Spencer came out and said the console war is over. They can never compete. They can never beat Sony or Nintendo in gaming, and they're gonna try to go a different strategy and a different route. So at the end of the day, it's over. Like that day, the console war is over. Is over. All of this shit here with the FTC, all that, it means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. You know. So I mean, congratulations to whoever deemed it's a W for him or whatever.
That's a W for my baby brother. That's more games on Game Pass.
Yo, what happened to his face? What did he do?
Hey, bro was down bad, man.
Yo, that was stressing him out, man.
Yeah, that's stress. I told him that FTC stress.
That's it.
Watching fucking. He's not used to watching C-SPAN. That's what happened.
That's
He been hanging with my brother Post up there for too long, man. I told him, man, you gotta get out. You gotta get out of there, bro.
Yo, P-Rock, do you think it's because Game Pass went up $2 per month?
Yeah, he ain't liking that either. Hey, we Puerto Rican. He didn't like that shit. He didn't like that shit at all. He like, wait a minute.
He had to find the money somewhere. Okay.
Oh, what's up, man? All right, hey, okay. So hey, since we here, so let's talk about it. Let's launch. Who wants to take a stab at this first? So
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first.
So right here, let me just
go first.
Yo, before you go first, okay. I was gonna say before Extreme goes, please don't do a Christopher Judge like you did the last podcast. He went on for like 30 minutes talking about prices and shit.
Yeah, but he spoke from the heart.
Let it out. Just like Christopher Judge did.
He said, buy your goddamn games.
Yeah.
Or shut the fuck up.
$100 games.
Pay the $200 or shut the fuck up. That's pretty much me paragraphing what he said.
Yo, P-Rock, go ahead, set the stage, man.
There you go. U.S. federal judge Corley finally rules on Microsoft Xbox ABK deal. Microsoft wins. We finally know Judge Corley's decision on the FTC's attempt to block Microsoft's big Xbox deal. Yeah, I ain't really know this shit. That's pretty much it. The judge says, denied FTC. The deal can go through. So go ahead, Extreme. What you got?
Yo, I want to say that I don't care about this shit, so that's it. That's all. You guys can go.
Yeah, I got a few things to say.
Sure.
I don't really care about this, of course, but I hope that I do hope that happens, right? If they do, because they can get appealed and shit, right? The FTC can come back in like 48 hours or something. Anyways, let's say that they do buy it and it's theirs. And Phil Spencer a couple months ago, or a couple years, 2 years ago, or one, he said what he wants most out of this is to bring back old IPs that Activision hasn't touched because they're just focused on Call of Duty. I hope that's true. I hope that he keeps his words and brings back Call of Duty and shit like that.
That's full of shit. Man, I'm gonna tell you.
Guitar Hero. Sorry.
No. Listen, that's bullshit. He talking about what he want to bring back and all this shit. Motherfuckers out here begging him, fucking on their hands and knees, begging him for fucking to bring back Killer Instinct and some of these goddamn Microsoft IPs. How dare he fix his lips and say we want somebody else to bring back some shit? Get out of here, Phil Spencer.
J Dub's tired of his bullshit. He's like, I heard all that bullshit before.
Right now, if they acquire it, what the fuck is going to change? Nothing, bro. Like, okay, you get it on Game Pass. Doesn't matter. The game's been out for a year and a half now. Called the new Call of Duty. Like, what does it matter?
A lot is going to change.
Watch it.
You know, we're just looking at the surface level.
The surface, yeah. I'm looking at the surface.
They already told you that they're trying to bring content parity, so that's going to change. Like I already told y'all from a couple of months that personally I didn't like Microsoft owning Activision and messing around with COD, because if you look at what Microsoft has been doing, Phil Spencer has been doing everything that PlayStation has been buddy or have some type of exclusivity deal. They've been purchasing and buying. You know what I mean? Bethesda Studios, PlayStation had 3 exclusives lined up ready for PS5. Starfield's included in that. Phil Spencer didn't want that. So that's the main reason of why they bought Bethesda. The second main reason Yeah, they're saying whatever they're saying with Activision, but Microsoft didn't like the fact that there's exclusivity tied to Call of Duty when it comes to PlayStation, that a lot of people are incentivized to play that game on their platform. So they go out, they hit up Microsoft. We need to buy this so we can even the playing field here as far as having people play on our platform or the install base. So yeah, there's a lot that's going to be changing up in here because, like I said a couple of months ago with the whole Nintendo deal that it said, content parity. Microsoft, yeah, they might put the game on the platform, but don't look for any type of exclusive type of feature when it comes to Call of Duty anymore. You know what I mean? Everything is going to be streamlined, so there's no set advantage outside of Microsoft own advantage that you probably play this game super cheap within their service. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a big. We're looking at like, y'all saying, y'all don't care. Y'all this type of acquisition right here is a game changer acquisition, regardless if you don't care about it or not, because this is PlayStation's most revenued game that's bringing in for them. You know what I mean? And that could absolutely change with this acquisition here, especially if they're trying to equalize and have all content be on the same platform without any type of exclusivity deal or whatnot outside of Game Pass.
Well, I will say this: as Jabari is right, because he's coming from a COD player, right? He's not just a casual COD player. Me, I'm a casual COD player. I play it every now and then. Doesn't really mean shit to me, right? So it doesn't matter to me. But at the end of the day, I'll be honest. If you got a PlayStation, most gamers are still going to play COD on their PlayStation. Or if you're on PC, you're still going to play COD on your PC. Or if you're an Xbox guy, then hey, you get the fruits, whatever that bear, whether it's Game Pass or some time content or whatever. But make no mistake about it. Microsoft used to have the Call of Duty deal. They decided they didn't want it anymore. Because their install base was too small and it cost them much more to obtain that. So Sony came with their big install base. They were able to grab that deal and hold on that deal for this far. So I don't see people going to run out all of a sudden and buy a bunch of fucking Xbox Series S's or X's specifically for this game. I could be mistaken. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think, if this is the desperate situation that these guys had to take to try to salvage what they have as a console or as a gaming space, hey, it is what it is. That just should put more fucking.
Sad, man.
No. Listen.
No, you're just sick.
Listen. Yeah, I'm sick.
Okay, sorry.
This should take more. This should be more fire under fucking PlayStation, under Jim Ryan and those guys, to know, okay, you no longer have that big gap with the Call of Duty anymore. You no longer have that type of advantage. So now you're gonna have to get wiser, keep doing what you're doing, go and double down, keep buying up those third-party deals, keep buying up second-party deals, keep doubling down on your first-party deals and all this shit like that. So you can't get complacent. These motherfuckers got a big dump truck full of money. And I get it. You got a huge install base, and it's hard for them to tackle that. But, I mean, shit, at the end of the day, money talks. And if Microsoft got to go and buy all the games and hand that shit for free on every single corner in America and the UK and everywhere else, it is what it is. Get good. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. They knew that this possibility was going to come for a couple of years. And according to Jim Ryan in those leaked emails, he said, we'll be okay. We got some shit cooking. We'll be okay. And then listen, they'll be okay. They still in first place. They still doubling down on VR. They doubling down on their third-party deals. They fucking doubling down on buying up all these other developers that fit right within their ecosystem and shit like that. So I'm not worried. But at the end of the day, this should be a wake-up call for Sony, saying, yeah, even though you got the Call of Duty deal and you got these other deals, okay, this is a shooting market. There's a market for shooters. Just because you got Call of Duty for so long don't mean that you shouldn't have to work and try to get your own shooters or your own services games or be a part of the conversation. I'm not saying that they're going to make a game that's going to outshine COD, right? I'm not saying that they're going to make a game that's going to outshine Apex Legends or Fortnite. But the fact that you can have some IPs that are even in the conversation bodes well for them. And that's pretty much what I got to say.
I want to add to a point that you brought up. Hold on. You brought up that like you don't know how much this will change the user base if they'll shift to the Xbox or whatnot, right? Because if they make any sort of content exclusive or whatever, and you reference back then when they had the deals with Microsoft, and then that didn't happen anymore because of install base and PlayStation coming in with the bag and more players to acquire to be a part of their ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
I think, in my personal opinion, Call of Duty will remain a multi-platform game. I don't think they'll try no sneaky shit to make it exclusive not because of install bases, but because Call of Duty was one of the first games to advocate for cross-platform play. So they might have certain skins and stuff that are exclusive, but I don't see a world where Microsoft takes Call of Duty away from PlayStation, like Starfield, and puts it only on PC, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, for example, because like everybody can play together. And if you take out the PlayStation altogether, some players will go, but others will be like, "Yo, my shit is on PlayStation. I'm about to dump that to go to Xbox just to play Call of Duty." Whereas back then it wasn't multiplayer, so it was a lot easier to transition over because on the 360, all my friends were on PlayStation, and then on the Xbox, and then on the PS4 generation, they were all on PlayStation. So it was easier for me to ditch my 360 and go to PS4 and so on. Now it's a lot different. So I definitely see your point there. Go ahead, Extreme.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I didn't want to speak about it, but go ahead, Extreme. I'll go after you, brother. Go ahead, brother.
But back to J-Boy's point about how I say that I don't care, but this is a monumental deal and everything. I recognize the importance of this deal. I just also recognize that I do not have any input and I do not have any way of affecting it. And most importantly, I also recognize that this is not the moment where everything is closed. The case is sealed and everything is shut. I think I will have a lot to say on this deal once the dice have stopped rolling. Like once everything is set in place, we know whether they're acquiring it, whether they are not. There will be no more appeals, no more, just further injunctions and cases and other people weighing in. Basically, once it's done, that's when I have a lot to say about it, because I do think it is important. And I think it will be more important in 3 to 5 years, no matter which way it goes, whether they get it or whether they don't. The effects of that are not going to be immediate. The way that they can change the industry is going to take time. And so it will be a more interesting conversation later down the line. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. You guys go.
Oh, well, yeah, I was going to say, look, based on what was presented to this judge, her decision, writing that decision, it flat said where the linchpin was the 10-year deal. So you have a 10-year deal that was signed, and they testified in court they would honor. So that there's your turning point from what she had in front of her. It was a very narrow decision. She had a narrow scope that she could look through, so to speak, and she said it. The FTC did show that it made different points. I mean, she did agree, but she just had a real narrow scope. As far as the future and people hopping, that's a consumer choice. That's what capitalism is. Whether that happens or not, you won't know that for a year or two. You won't know for a year or two. So just like people were saying, well, more people are buying Xboxes for Starfield. I'm like, well, the numbers haven't come out yet. We're not even through July, so how do you really know that? But is it going to change things and things like that? I don't see how it does. I think Call Me Jay made a good point. Xbox had marketing with the 360. And they got maps.
That was J-Dub, sorry.
Yeah, was it 360 that they had?
It was J-Dub who said that.
Oh, that was J-Dub? Yeah, I'm sorry.
That generation.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I was just going to say that. And it at worst, that's what it'll be. They will get the skins first. They'll get the maps first. I've said multiple times that, and I think Broken Games HD was on this podcast and said they put way too much bank, so to speak, in something they did not own. and they should not have ever done that because, as J-Dub said, when Microsoft got pushed, and they were almost out of the market, and they did what they always do, which is they opened it with their pocketbook. They did it with Halo. Go back and read what Bill Gates did to Steve Jobs. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs, with Halo. But this is in their DNA. I don't know if it's going to change anything, but I broke the news, and I got to say this, that the FTC could appeal, and when they appeal, they're going to make everybody sacrifice their trophies. I mean, they're going to put all these trophies in front of they're going to go to the judge, and they're going to say, here are all these trophies. You need to go. These guys called in the B2 and got one-man army. So you can't do this. But I'm just kidding. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to change a heck of a whole lot. There's not enough information out there. It's fine to speculate about it, though. I get it. There's a lot of people scratching their heads. But as Extreme said, and I'm closing with this process is not over. In 72 hours, they can file an appeal. Then they move to the August stuff, and then a lot of that stuff that was redacted comes out publicly. So, and Jim Ryan did say under oath in front of the judge that Sony would be fine. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how that plays out. I think they'll be okay, but that's just my opinion.
Let me hit up some super chat real quick. We'll start out with Jay Barry. He's up in here. Of course, he's a member. He's my brother. Of course, he's part of the family. Hit the like button. And we got Smoothie Movie. And my man said today was entertaining. Salty and J-Dub down bad. Oh shit. Smoothie Movie. And then of course we got Mac.
Smoothie Movie.
Mac City Entertainment. My man is there with hold the line. He says, finally, J-Dub, competition. Why are you afraid of it? Oh shit, Mac. All right. And then Mac again, he said, nobody wants COD exclusive anymore. Activision has other games to make exclusive. Game Pass effect is real, best value, but you play where you want to play. Man, Mac, you ain't playing none of these goddamn games. You're too busy on Zaire's podcast.
No, man.
Stop playing, man. Now, shout out to Mac. Shout out to Mac. They're more interested in the games they don't have. Now, let me tell you something. So, this deal actually gave me something that I didn't even know I wanted. But once I saw it, I'm like, yo, I want that. Yep, I'm glad this happened because something happened that I didn't know was gonna happen, but it happened. And because it happened, I'm glad the FTC, got denied. So you know what happened that I didn't think was gonna happen, but it did happen? I'm gonna show y'all. This happened. And I love it.
It's a lot of alliteration.
I love it. Can the real Colt Eastwood please stand up? The truth, listen, I know this guy, I know his fakeness, I know who the fuck this dude is. This dude is one of the biggest Xbox fanboys ever. And he just shielded himself into this bullshit persona of Be Nice. And I'm like, this is the fakest dude on the goddamn planet. And it took this deal for the true colors to come out. This is Colt Eastwood. Make no mistake, this is him. He just couldn't deal with getting his ass kicked, so he created this fake persona. But this is the devil unleashed, and I am so for it, bro. I am so for it. I am so for it. Cause let not one goddamn Xbox ever come tell me, oh, Cozy was not a fanboy. Bullshit. And guess what? Cole? You win. You back in. You in the fight. You no longer a civilian. Your ass can get it. You're in, bro. Welcome back, Cole. Welcome back to the games. So, hey, CMA I guess CMA's trying to reconsider that shit. Whatever. Let the deal go through. Because you guys got what you got. But I got what I got. I got what I got. His true colors is out. Let the games begin. I don't want to hear no shit in 2024, 2025. Us that being fanboy. Let's being fair. If this shit doesn't change anything this year, y'all in this game, bro. Y'all in the fight. He is no longer a civilian. He is not an innocent bystander. He does not have protections of the Geneva Convention. Nope. Sorry, that shit don't apply to you.
Yep.
I got what I want. Oh shit, this dude, this guy came out of his bag, bro. He out there telling people, stop whining, you lost, we won. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, bro. Listen,
bro.
if you see more tweets like this, screenshot it, send it to me. We need the receipts. It's a wrap. Man. So I got what I want. This shit's more exciting than the actual.
Exactly.
This shit, hell yeah. There is no kumbaya. That's it. The lines have been drawn. That's it. Time to play Stratego. That's it. Yeah. I was just waiting. I'm like, I'm just waiting for this guy to make his move. He's gonna make his move one day. He's gonna slip, and this is it. It took this for him to slip. Oh, he slipped. He slipped. I don't want to hear shit from nobody. Like, oh, why you toxic? Nah, dog. That's your general right there. It ain't King David. Yeah. That's the true head guy. You know, like you play a game and there's like the guy who's the boss, but you realize there's someone behind the scenes that's the true evil. That's him. That's the guy who's in charge. That's the guy. Wasn't King David. That guy's just a front. That's the one. That's the dude right there. That's Lord Sauron. That's him. And he's exposed. Got him. Yeah. Yo, so that's it. That's really the only thing I care about that. When I started seeing this tweet, I'm like, he's back. All that bullshit, be nice, play everywhere, just enjoy consoles. Man, fuck out of here. I know who the hell you truly are. It just we just like, it just needed a little push. And this was the push he needed. We got Mac. You know what I'm talking about, Mac. Mac there laughing because he knows I'm telling the truth. Mac, he fucked up. He doesn't realize. He's like, oh shit. That's right.
let me ask you guys this, right? Do you guys think, because this is what I feel, do you guys think that, because Microsoft could have did what they're doing now, right? Finally open their wallets and spending their money and getting some shit. They could have did that fucking 15 years ago, but they didn't. Do you guys think that they were willing to sacrifice the console, the Xbox console, in pursuit of the mobile cloud in a different direction that would make them spend this type of money?
Yes.
They are. They're getting out of the console stuff and they're going to the service route. Did anybody find out how much it costs for them to research and develop like the series consoles? I mean, it was like tree pit.
They lose $100 to $200 per console according to Microsoft.
So it's it's they're getting out and their service the best. I mean, again, what made Netflix work is it's on all devices. That's why Netflix is still around. And then they had to go out and get things, put programming on there. At the end of the day, they are going to try to do what they said at the CMA. We talked to Sony about putting Game Pass. I've said this before on PlayStation, and it wouldn't shock me if 6 months from now there's more talks. I didn't say it was coming, but I believe it is. There's more talks, but this is what they're. I mean, again, you're going to get out of the market because you cannot outsell Sony. The ball is kind of in Sony's court. I mean, I'm a consumer, so I'm okay. I don't mind this as a consumer. I don't know how it creates more competition. I do agree with the judge. If they're going to put the game on cloud, they're going to put the game on Nintendo, then yes, in theory, more people have the opportunity to buy it. Again, the opportunity. But I saw people today bitching and moaning and crying, saying that they weren't going to buy it. That's fine, too. I mean, you're a consumer. You don't have to buy it. So this thing, we could almost call it Overreaction Tuesday. As far as what Cole Eastwood said. Yeah, I mean, again, talks out of both sides of his mouth. Like J-Dub said, the console war is over. Phil Spencer said it was over. There are still fanboys everywhere, and they won't let it go. I mean, if you want an Xbox, go buy one. If you don't want one.
The thing is that they messed up their branding so much with not only at the end of the 360 generation, but also at the beginning of the Xbox One generation. It's messed up so hard that even to this day, people still think all those shits are true. Some of them. Of the always online and all this other stuff. And whenever they go online on YouTube, even professional people that play sports and shit, they're like, Xbox, bro, who plays on Xbox, So there's a stigma around the console. And that's why they moved. That's why they opened up to PC back in 2016, and now they're trying to do it with the cloud so that they can be in as much places as possible. As far as my mindset goes, out of everything that I know, which is not everything, but from what I hear Phil Spencer and Satya talk and stuff, to me, like PC is their number one right now, and then there's the console, and then there's cloud, and they're trying to bring that cloud up. To be number one or be number two, because the console itself is just stagnated.
Mobile.
Mobile. But like, do you think that do you feel like they will move to mobile in the sense that they'll start making games natively run on your iPhone?
Well, they have. That's because remember they have King.
They got King now.
That's what they do. King. That's literally what King does. They make phone games. So now
I know they have done it before.
Well,
I know they've had mobile games.
Well, it's not Microsoft having. They bought somebody that already does it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all they did, right? Let me read the super chats. Let me chime in with 2 points. Well, 1 point. But first, I'll start with the brain. He says, "Yo, what's up with Craig? He speaks a lot of gibberish."
No, I didn't. I speak truth. It's gibberish to you.
Okay.
I mean,
he probably thought of the trophy joke.
Oh, the trophy joke. Yeah, not a joke. They got, all these guys claim trophies are important, but it didn't stop this deal. Well, it hasn't. They make that. It's not over yet. I gotta wait. Like I told people today, it's not over. The process is not over. But yeah, apparently I was
Rambo. Come home, Rambo. It's over.
Yeah, I know. It's over.
Listen, collect your VA claim. It's over. Just file your VA claim, dog. It's over.
Craig, when you say trophy, are you talking about PlayStation trophies?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get all your trophies and they're gonna present them to the FTC, and the FTC is gonna go in there like Hulk did and smash, and then this will be over with. So yes, it sounds stupid, but hey, I'm telling you what I've been told before. So,
okay, hit the like button. All right, and Glenzer, ask a question. 3 pertinent questions for the future gaming. What did Sony make? What did Nintendo make? What did MS buy? Sony made games, Nintendo made games, MS bought developers.
Yeah, they bought developers. Yeah, that's what they were going to publishers. That's what they were going to do.
People can bitch and whine all they want. I'm talking to Xbox people, but the history of Microsoft and Xbox has been buying studios. Like they bought Bungie off of Apple. They bought the IP of Gears of War when it was at its peak, when Epic wasn't going to do it no more. When they were like, okay, we're going to go third party now, because I think it was because of contractual agreements. And Microsoft's like, no, I'll buy it from you. Playground Games is a studio that worked with Microsoft, and it got so big they bought it. That's the only one that I can think it's kind of natural. Like they worked with them and then they bought them. Like Sony does. It's used to doing.
All right.
But their biggest franchises are literally IPs that they bought so that they are not on other platforms.
Here's the thing, guys.
You're right.
At the end of the day, that fan base doesn't care, right? Yeah. They've been getting their backs kicked in for the last 15 years. They haven't had any decent games since the 360 era, right? Yeah. It is what it is, right? They've been the laughing stock for the last two and a half generations. They've had the most power. They've had the least power. It doesn't matter. They're just glad to have something to cling to, and it doesn't matter if it directly benefits them or not. When Phil came, like I keep referencing back about a month ago when Phil came out in an interview, that was the death note right there. That was the end of it, and this gave them a little glimmer of hope, of a light, and I think they're going to see the console go away, and a lot of them will be okay with that, right? Yeah, a lot of these guys are not in it for the games; they're in it for to hang out and to have a club to meet with executives and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lifestyle for them. It's not. They don't care about the games, right? If they cared about the games, they would have been asking for Phil to be fired a long time ago. Yeah. So,
you're right.
So there's 2 different groups of people. There's people who actually care about Xbox games, wanting Xbox to be better, and they care about the console and stuff like that. Then you got the other guys. You got the Phil stands, right? And so, you got the Max City Entertainments of the world. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother. But I think at the end of the day, everything will resume as it always have, right? Nintendo going to still put out great bangers. sell great hardware. PlayStation will still give you the best games money can buy. They're still going to be, spending $200-300 million on single player IP that sells a bazillion copies, right? And they're going to make $1 bazillion. That's just what it is. Microsoft is going to pivot, focus on the mobile space, focus on PC. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's more Game Pass subscribers on PC than console. So that shows you the console is not even Microsoft's main focus anymore, because the fan base is not even majority on console anymore. It's PC. Yeah. So
and they acknowledge that at the hearing. They acknowledge this at the hearing. Open. So
yes, so I think a lot of Xbox guys need to have the come to Jesus moment. Some of them are still in denial. Some of them have already accepted. They don't care. And that's just what it is, The only downside is Microsoft hasn't shown or proven that they can nurture the studios they have. So you're going to take some of the world's biggest IPs and hand it to them and expect them to make them greater, expect them to be the same. I don't know. I hope that Bobby Kotick doesn't retire and go, because he's the reason that company churns out these games, high quality games all the time. If you think Phil Spencer and the rest of those guys are going to be able to do that, just look at Halo, just look at Redfall, and look at a lot of other decisions that they've had with their IPs over the last 15 years. It is what it is. We may wake up one day, in a couple of years, and find out that COD is just not that game anymore. People have moved on to some other shooter or some other game. And we will look back and say, when was that time? When was the day and the age that you knew that Call of Duty, that was it for Call of Duty? We're going to look back on this time and say, yeah, we kind of knew.
Yeah, good point. All facts with the history of it and all. But I agree with you, J-Dub. I think there's a group of people who are playing their PlayStation games and playing their Xbox games, and they're just kind of like whatever. Okay, and like people said, if you play on PC, you can buy the game. I assume it's going to be on Steam or whatever, wherever it can be on. You can buy it off the Microsoft Store. It is. But there are a group of people within the PlayStation community that are trash. I mean, they're ponies. They're trash. Okay, and there's a bunch of Xbox guys who are just playing their games, and then there's some who are just like you all said, they want to be part of the Clue Club. And get online and complain and bitch and moan. And I still personally believe that I'm in the medical field. Something happened psychologically when Spider-Man came out and was published by Sony and put on PlayStation. Something psychologically happened with them. And like J-Dub said, they don't care how it happened. They don't care if they're paying $170 to $220 a year for lack of ownership. They just want something to talk about, and they have it. Now you don't hear anything about power. You don't hear anything about VRR, VHS, STD, whatever. You hear nothing. It is we finally have games to play and look forward to, and that's been the issue. That's been the issue the whole time. They don't like the fact that the PlayStation community has had games. I mean, taking those screenshots, people were mad as F. In the Xbox community, they were mad. I mean, I have an Xbox. I had people call, what's that thing? Instant, whatever this thing is they have, and they leave voice messages and how upset they were and what do I think is going to happen. And it is like Jado said, it is what it is. But I'm just glad it's almost over. It's 75% over with this ABK deal, and people can start talking about the games coming out from Alan Wake 2 to Madden if you want it, Spider-Man, Starfield, stuff, Helldivers if you want it. Maybe the conversation will actually mature and people will start talking about the games again.
Yes, please. If this deal closes and they're still talking about either their game is better or like more acquisitions, I'm about to block all these motherfuckers. Because PlayStation people, I follow both camps, but PlayStation people, when they mostly post gameplay and screenshots and they talk about how excited they are about games. These guys have been talking for like a year and a half about this shit. So if this closes and they're still like Microsoft, and they're not talking about the excitement of games, blocked. I'm good, bro. It's so lame.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole huge community waiting for Starfield, and they're not in the Xbox camp. They're on PC. I mean, these guys have huge channels. Bethesda. I'm sorry. Yeah, these guys have big channels, huge channels, 75 to 150,000, and they're at least talking about Starfield and what they expect, what they want to see, the mods that they think people will come out. So at least that's fun to go into those chats and go into those discords and talk to people, because we're finally just talking about the games. But yeah, this overall, it is, people bitching and moaning and blah 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 this, and I'm glad it's almost over. They've almost cleaned out their colons, so you're about 75% done. So hopefully, like I said, we get back to gaming. At least I know I am. I know I can't speak for nobody but me.
Now let me say because J-Dub did mention earlier about how come they didn't spend this amount 15, like they could have done this 15 years ago. It really comes down to the CEO, and when Satya Nadella took over, remember he took over in 2014, so he inherited Xbox One when it was already fucked up, right? So it was already, the whole game, TV, whatever. So once he became CEO, Xbox issues that was already, PlayStation whooping its ass, 1080p, better gamer, all that shit, he inherited. So his mind says, like, why the fuck am I even involved in this bullshit? Like, what's the point? Like, nobody likes this brand. Like, somebody got to convince me and tell me something, right? Yeah. Phil went after the thing he knows not Satya like, because Satya's big thing is cloud and putting stuff everywhere. He doesn't really like stuff just be on one area, like one device or whatever. He's the one that made the decision to put Microsoft Office on Mac. So that should tell you who the hell he is, right? And he's the one that's trying to make Microsoft Windows a cloud OS. Not even a native OS. He's the one that made the decision that you can't even buy Office anymore. Yeah. Like, he fucking made it into a subscription service. Right? You can't buy Office no more. It's a subscription service now. Office 365. So that's the shit he likes. That's how he sees things. He likes that. All Phil did, like any person that wants to keep their job and make big bucks, he's like, damn, what does my boss like? Well, my boss like this. Well, how can I turn Xbox and make it into that, right? Yeah. And it's not like, in my opinion, it's not like the system was already, it's not like Phil created something that was new and out of pocket, because even PlayStation was doing it, but in a different way. PS Now was a cloud service, right? When it first started, right? But what was it doing? It let you have an access to a library of games over the cloud for a monthly subscription. So the concept's not too far off what Game Pass is. The only thing Phil did was, let's just go all the way. Why limit it to just PS3 games and whatever and just play online? Let's just do it all across the board. Let's make just gaming subscription service, and my boss likes it, then let's just do it. And Satya bid in on that. And Satya will double down on that. And that's where Phil started getting the money and stuff like that. And I would imagine that's probably why Phil wasn't buying new stuff, why he turned down Spider-Man, because the money that was going to be invested wasn't into that. It was going to be into this long-term plan of Game Pass. Game Pass came out in 2017, right? It launched in 2017. And then shortly thereafter, the acquisition of studios, Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games, all those. And then they further Bethesda. Now, Phil did say one of the key catalysts of Bethesda, and I can't blame him, was Sony started getting time exclusive from Bethesda, right? Yeah. Now, I can't fault Phil for that, because Xbox and Bethesda always had a close relationship, Yeah. And now all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, Bethesda's games going exclusives, or at least timed exclusive to PlayStation, and then there's rumors Starfield might be timed exclusive. He's like, I can't fucking deal with this shit. Fuck this shit. I'm buying Bethesda. I'm done with this shit. Right? Yeah. So you really can't fault them, because remember, Morrowind was on the OG Xbox. It wasn't even on PlayStation, right? Yeah. And then Elder Scrolls Oblivion was on Xbox first, and then they had exclusive deals. They had the marketing deal. So Bethesda was always with PlayStation, right? I mean, with Xbox.
Yeah.
So they always had a great relationship. Now all of a sudden, to kick off the new gen, right off the bat, 2 timed exclusives and a possible third, right? And Phil is not in the position, or at least Xbox is not in a position to fight, to go into a renting battle, to go into the marketing battle. Because in order for Xbox to win a marketing rights battle over Sony, they have to pay more because they have the lower fan base, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to cost them more money to do the same thing Sony would do for less money. So in their mind, if we're going to spend extra money, we're no longer going to rent. I'm just buy the cow. That way I can have the milk, and if I want steak, I'll have fucking steak. So if I'm going to spend extra money, I'm not going to spend extra money milking the cow. I'm going to just buy the cow. I'm going to spend even more money and just get the cow altogether. And that's pretty much so you are kind of right. But again, you can only go so far when you back a person into a corner, right? And I think when it's one thing to get Final Fantasy exclusive, right? Or even a Capcom exclusive. But when you fuck with somebody that's like your boy on the block and you're like, yo, like, okay, mother flower. Like, damn, bro. Like, who is there anybody? Like, who's next on this goddamn list? Am I gonna have anybody? Well, screw this shit. I'm gonna just buy shit, right? And the fact that all this stuff will get added to Game Pass, which is what Satya Nadella likes. He likes that subscription-based system, right? Yeah. They just open up the pocketbooks. They're gonna do what they do best, right? My only main concern, and I said I was never against the deal or whatever. In fact, I always said I think it's going to go through. Because I honestly don't see how anyone can claim gaming is going to end. And I know other people feel like consolidation is bad for the industry. I really, with so many shit that's been consolidated throughout different industries, I'm like numb to that, right? My only thing, and I still ask this question, this whole intent, right, is Microsoft's doing these acquisitions. Because these acquisitions, the intention of the acquisitions to make Microsoft better, make Xbox better, right? Yeah. And that's the intent. And that's what people are hoping will happen, right? That Microsoft, whatever, this will provide competition, let them compete. They'll come out with value. They'll come out with great games. They got bigger staff, all this shit. But what if the opposite happens? So instead of Activision Bethesda making Microsoft better, because Microsoft has shit leadership, they end up making these companies worse. You know what I'm saying? And like the reason why I say this is when Microsoft bought these companies, when they bought Bethesda before that, we were being told that Microsoft is off hands. Let them do creative stuff. They're not involved, hands off. That's who they are. And then I'm thinking, all right, if you let Bethesda be Bethesda, you should be okay. As long as you just give them a blank check, they'll be all right. And if you buy Activision... You write them a blank check, and that's about as much as you do, you'd be okay. But the truth is, that's a complete lie. The FTC exposed all that bullshit. Not only is Microsoft not hands-off, they don't even tell the very people what they're doing until after the fact. Yep. That's not even hands-off. They already make decisions before the company even know that decision. First example, I'll give you, right? When Microsoft started giving all those 10-year deals for Call of Duty, right? Yep.
Bobby Kotick didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision, he didn't find out Microsoft was doing that until he read it online. So at a minimum, he found out about all this when we found out. And he's the goddamn CEO. At no point did Microsoft give him a courtesy like, hey, we're trying to get this deal through. This is our plan. We plan to do this. We plan to try to put, the games on Nintendo, Boosteroid. This is just a heads up. So at least he has some idea. Yeah. He didn't even do that. That's one. He didn't do that, right? Number 2. Microsoft going around, promising, Activision games ain't going nowhere or Call of Duty going nowhere. And they made that decision publicly before informing their staff, who is part of their first party, that they were going to do that. Namely, Peter Hines. Now, the reason why Peter Hines, he even testified it. The reason why Peter Hines, he didn't have an issue, but he had an email addressing his concern over this because his concern as just, as him being in charge of marketing, he didn't want Todd Howard to get blasted in an interview and people ask him, hey, why aren't your games on PlayStation still, yet Activision games or, Call of Duty will be. And they were never prepared for that conversation because Microsoft never told them that was going to happen. He was surprised that they said that. And he's like, wait a minute. Now, he has no issue with Bethesda being exclusive or whatever. His issue was how come they didn't sit everybody down so that way he could strategize, be like, all right, Microsoft's about to announce that these games are going to stay on multiple platforms. In fact, they're going to go to more platforms. I need to figure out some damage control. So that way, if Todd Howard's on an interview and they ask him, well, how come Starfield's not on PlayStation or Nintendo, whatever, when active duty games will be, he at least has some type of common sense approach to answering that question. But Bethesda was not clued in on that, so they were left in the dark out of that, right? And then word on the street is the Indiana Jones renegotiated deal. Bethesda wasn't even involved in that.
Yep.
Now, Microsoft told them after it was already done that they went to Disney, paid them extra money. Now they don't got to worry about the PlayStation version. Now, I'm not saying they should have a problem with it. They probably don't, right? Because ultimately it's Microsoft money, right? Whatever. But the point what I'm trying to say is let no one say Microsoft hands off. That's a lie. Yeah. That's a complete lie now. They are not only are they on hands on, they are most likely making decisions before even the actual developers or the publishing section even knows that Microsoft at a higher level made a decision. And now they're finding out after the fact. And that's the thing. That's the problem, right? Because by right, Microsoft has that power. But I don't think they realize they're garbage. Right? If you form the best team in the world, but you give them a sorry-ass coach and general manager, that team's not winning championships. Because the manager's making stupid decisions. The coach is coming up with stupid plays. He's putting in the stupid wrong people. He's the one idiot that's taking out the one dude that's scoring the most. And what the fuck is you doing? The top players can't be top players if you're doing stupid shit outside of the arena. That's the only question I have. If you have shitty leadership that don't know what they're doing, but you have all these great stuff and money, will it result in Microsoft being better, or will it result in all these acquired studios? Because I'm really shocked at Ninja Theory. That's where my true concern really comes into play, right? Because look at this, check this out. Ninja Theory was already strategizing to release games every 2 to 3 years because they weren't going to be this big AAA studio. Hellblade was a $30 game, but it looked really good graphically and stuff like that. It was a good overall game, right? And they were, doing that. Microsoft acquired them, and I'm thinking, man, with their strategy, but backed by Microsoft, man, these guys are going to be pumping out games. They're going to be knocking out games every 2 to 3 years because they built their system for that. And now that they have the money, that shit's going to be quick. Now, picture this. Now, let me look at this timeline. Hellblade came out in July 2017. It came out 5 months after Horizon Zero Dawn and almost a year and 2-3 months before Spider-Man and 8-9 months before God of War. Since Hellblade, they only released Bleeding Edge. That's it. Nothing else. But since Hellblade, even before Hellblade, we got from Guerrilla, we got obviously Horizon Forbidden West, which came out the same year as Hellblade, but then they released Forbidden West 2, so we got a full-blown sequel. We got 2 DLCs, The Frozen Wilds, The Burning Shores, and we got a VR game, which is Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
And they're working on
the port, right?
And they're working on they worked on the port of PC, but the port I really don't care about. I'm talking about new content.
No, but it adds to the amount of things that they did on top of everything.
Yeah. And they're working on a multiplayer game, and they're working on a Horizon multiplayer game, and they're working on the 3rd sequel. Look at all that shit that they're working on in the same time window that Ninja Theory has, right? Look at Insomniac. Insomniac released their game almost a year after, a little over a year, when Hellblade came out. Hellblade came out in July 2017. Spider-Man, the first one came out, September 2018? I think. So let's say September 2018. Yeah. Since September 2018, look what Insomniac did. Right? They released 3 DLCs. Right? They released Miles Morales. Right? They remastered Spider-Man. Ported both Spider-Mans to PC. Released a new game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, specifically for the PS5. And they're about to release Spider-Man 2. And they announced Wolverine. Look at all this shit they released. And I still can't even get a goddamn actual gameplay of Hellblade 2. Mm-hmm. Now, whose fault is that? Did Ninja Theory all of a sudden become a shit developer that can't make games in a timely manner? Like, what happened with Ninja Theory? We should have had at least 2 games by now from them. Especially, and for those who don't know, because I know some of you Xbox dudes, now all of a sudden, like Ninja Theory, go back to 2015, 2016 on their channel and look at their dev diary. They were telling you what they were strategizing. They were creating their company to release games every 2 to 3 years with similar quality, graphics of Hellblade
game that looks AAA.
A AA game that looks AAA at the cost of AA. So these $30 games that look great and play great for $30, and they'll be able to knock them out like every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And here we are. Like, what are we doing? You see what I'm saying? So whose fault is that? I can't see that Ninja 3 all of a sudden don't know what the hell they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only question I have. That's honestly, because where does the game go? I personally, listen, I played on TurboGrafx-16. I played on ColecoVision, Super Nintendo, N64. I had Sega Master System. I had consoles that failed. I had the Master System. I had the Saturn. I had 32X. I had Sega CD. I had tons of failed products in my life. Half of them was bought by my parents, so I feel their pain now. At the time, I didn't understand, but I understand now. But I had all that stuff. I had a lot of failed. I had TurboGrafx-16 and the TurboGrafx-16 CD. You understand what I'm saying? So I played on multiple devices, so that doesn't bother me. Wherever the game is, whatever. But regardless of what platform you play on, you gotta demand quality from that platform, right? So you gotta ask yourself, are these moves gonna make Xbox better? Or is the shit leadership at Microsoft has potential to screw everyone over? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Do you have faith and trust in Microsoft Publishing to ensure that these great studios remain great? That's the question y'all gotta ask yourselves.
This is a double-edged sword, man. I mean, listen, guys, we got to face reality here, man. I agree with you 100%, but when you have something like COD in your background, all that shit don't matter. The worst COD is selling. The worst COD is going to cover any type of ordeals or any type of bad decisions that Microsoft will ever make if you have that in your bag. It's a double-edged sword because, they're not going to get better management-wise. The fear is the series is not going to be better. I don't think the series is going to get better. I think it's going to stay stagnant. I think it's going to stay lame. I think it's going to stay whatever. But regardless of the fact of the matter is, whatever COD come out, bad, good, ugly, not working, it's still going to make decent bucks.
I'm not talking about specifically for COD. I'm talking across the board. I'm talking holistically.
Oh yeah,
COD. Listen, the last COD, I'll be honest, the last COD I bought
when you incorporate
was 2018.
Call of Duty in it. When you incorporate Call of Duty in it, it's all. Of course, it's all around the board. It's going to cover any type of loss that you're going to get. Any type of decision making.
Yeah, but that's specifically for Call of Duty. I already know Call of Duty.
No, it's not.
Listen,
so
I know.
What Barry's saying is that whatever they do besides Call of Duty, it doesn't matter because Call of Duty will cover the cost.
Yeah.
No.
Call of Duty's so big that it'll cover all their shit games of all the other studios. It doesn't matter if they're shit or not because when a new COD comes out, that game sells will cover all their mistakes because of how much it sells.
Microtransactions,
that's what he's saying.
All of that stuff. It's gonna cover all the bad decisions. You know what I mean? That's why I said it's a double-edged sword because what Microsoft is not going to get better. They're just looking to spend. Like I said, they've been following PlayStation's track record. That's why when I see, when people say that PlayStation should have responded without buying the publisher and all that stuff, that's all bullshit. They have been following every single step PlayStation have doing, every single exclusive PlayStation deal have been doing, and these games from the PlayStation, guess what they did? They bought them. Now they're not Call of Duty, but I'm talking about like the Starfields, the Elder Scrolls, all that stuff. A deal like this, $70 billion, the biggest gaming acquisition ever. A deal like this, it doesn't matter what games is coming to PlayStation. These motherfuckers is looking at PlayStation's roadmap. They're looking at PlayStation's scenario, and they're going to be like, yo, okay, you got that game exclusive? Let's see if we can try to buy this company now. This is why PlayStation, in my opinion, needs to react and need to respond. I'm not saying they got to do no harsh, or quick reaction and all that stuff, but something needs to be in the background because they just bought 2 major publishers back to back off of games that were coming exclusively or some type of exclusive deal to your platform, now it has changed.
So what do you think? So what
That's
do you
a big
think?
deal.
So what do you think that Sony should do? Like in terms of what do you see, and that what do you think, or what do you think Sony should be considering? Like, is that what you think you're considering? You think Microsoft is just sitting back, seeing what Sony's doing,
Yes,
and see what's super big, and then Microsoft be like, you know what, this little exclusive deal worked out. Let's go after that publisher now.
P-Rock.
Right
So
now,
pretty much, so pretty much,
mentioned in the emails.
so pretty
He
much,
mentioned in the email.
yo,
Yeah.
so pretty much, they're looking at Sony's moves, waiting to see if it works out big, and if it works out big, they'll go after the company that made that move
And
with them.
He said it in the
you
email.
go.
He
Alright.
said, "Yo,
Yeah.
I saw that Starfield was going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
We're not having that. We buying the publisher." He
Well,
said
oh yeah, but
and then
like
we
I said
also knew-
before,
we also knew-
I think because notice they didn't buy Square Enix. I think what's unique about Bethesda is Bethesda was their boy. Like, notice, so Microsoft is not really concerned with Square Enix. They didn't really they're like, whatever. But I think Sony crossed the line and went after the wrong publisher for exclusives, right? I think once they went after Bethesda and they got 2 exclusives, time exclusives from them, and then rumor was Starfield was also going to be time exclusive, and Bethesda and Microsoft had the close ties, right? They always had the close ties since the beginning. Remember, Morrowind is exclusively on at least for consoles, is on Xbox. They were one of the first publishers to help OG Xbox.
They had a good relationship.
Yeah, and then Oblivion was on 360. In fact, they were like partnered to help build the console, all that shit. Like the way PlayStation does, right? So Bethesda and all the marketing deals has always been with Xbox, right? So they always had this great relationship. And now all of a sudden, Sony comes in and takes games away. I personally think Sony went out of bounds, and that right there was the line. They crossed the line where now Microsoft's like, yo, if you can take Bethesda from us, then who you like at this point you could get games from anybody. At this point, you gotta ask yourself,
Can
they buy
Square Enix?
Wait, hold up. At this point, at this point, you could be like, these motherfuckers could go back and get Grand Theft 6 Auto 6 at this point. If you could get Bethesda,
you already made the biggest acquisition.
Yeah, before Bethesda, right? Before Bethesda, right? If I'm Microsoft, I'm like, yo, if you can take a company that's more or less aligned with us, then you are able to go after anybody and leave us with nothing. So that's why I think Sony crossed the line with a publisher that was more aligned with them as compared to aligned with the PlayStation fan base. And I think that's where Phil and them are like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Now they're going to get after Starfield 2? Fuck you. That's what I would take it as. I would take it as...
Xbox is not going to...
I
think with this acquisition, Xbox is not going to stop. They're going to try and get Sega as well because they have a recent good relationship with them now. And I'm telling you, look in the future, probably a year, probably a couple months, I don't know, you'll see some acquisition with Sega and Xbox. I guarantee it.
So the truth is, you're right. But here's the thing. I don't think that's a secret. I think Microsoft will go as far as 2 things will allow them. Number 1, as long as the shareholders are willing to give them the money. And number 2, as long as there's no government bodies that's going to stop them. That's the only 2 things that's going to stop them. Either the shareholders saying, hey, you're done. We already gave you nearly 80 billion. You ain't getting no more. Or, hey, here's another 30 billion. Have fun. You understand what I'm saying? So the only 2 things stopping them is just the shareholders and the government bodies. As long as none of them say no, they'll acquire as much as they can.
Guys,
they're saying on the chat. They're saying they can hear, like, it's very loud when you're like clearing your throat and coughing.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sick. I'm sorry.
Hey, Dub, you went to Canada and got sick, man?
Yeah,
I
man.
told you stop going over there, man.
Listen, man, I went to Canada and I was supposed to come back for a couple of days and go to London. And I didn't make it to London, man, because I got sick. But here's the thing. Let them compete. Fuck it, right? As a gamer, I don't care. Fuck it. Let them compete. If Satya finna throw all his money out there, buy up everything, Jim Ryan, Herman Hulst, hey, they better go back home to Japan and ask them motherfuckers for some more money to buy up some shit. It is what it is. I'm a gamer. I don't give a shit about if you ain't got enough bread or not. Get your shit together. It is what it is.
This is where the management stuff comes into play for me. Like, as a gamer, you're gonna go where the games are, but I don't trust Microsoft. I don't like how they manage stuff. I don't see them, elevating Activision.
Barry, I agree. Listen, I agree with you as well, right? I don't think they can fucking chew gum and walk at the same time. I think all this shit at the end of the day is gonna fail epically. That's just me. But you can't be the number one kings in gaming for the last fucking 25 years and all of a sudden not know what to do when your competition starts fucking spending money. I have the trust and the faith that Sony is going to spend some money and do what they got to do and they're going to be okay. But if they're not, let's say they're not going to be okay. Let's say they don't have the money. That's their fucking, hey, why are you in business? Right? Why are you in business if you can't find different? Listen, Sony and Nintendo has never had the most money. Right? Sony, their stocks was just junk status a couple of fucking years ago. They were able to fight and claw their way out of that shit by delivering great fucking games and doubling down on PlayStation. I expect no less than them to double, triple, quadruple, and whatever down
real
on
talk.
PlayStation
Call was
again.
a part of that though.
Yeah. But let's face it. Call of Duty didn't make no fucking PlayStation because PlayStation was still running shit when Microsoft had fucking Call of Duty. Let's face it. Yes, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. I ain't taking away from it. That's a nice chunk of change for them motherfuckers. No cap. But that shit didn't make PlayStation. That shit didn't make them who they are. You know what I'm saying? And if it did, then sad for them, right? So sad for them. Bobby Kotick, we saw in the court case, Sony brought in more money for fucking Blizzard Activision than PC, Xbox, and Nintendo combined. So if they're gonna fucking throw all this fucking PlayStation money away, then hey, that's Microsoft. Hey, it's their money. They can do what the fuck they want. So, but all I can say is I'm telling Jim Ryan and Sony now, get good. Maybe I'm talking because I'm not a diehard COD player. I play COD, right? But I'm not a diehard COD player. And I do believe that PlayStation is more than just fucking COD. And I do believe that they have current franchises and new things that they can do to make it where they'll be okay. And I gave them kudos when they fucking bought Bungie. And I know they said that they bought it because that allowed them to get some experience and shit into gaming as a service. But I'm gonna be honest, I think low key deep down, they saw fucking Call of Duty potentially going away. And they wanted to have some kind of fucking shooter, some kind of game that brought in reoccurring generated revenue. And so they spent that money, they bought them. Now, I know that one thing about these corporations, they're not going to tell you the whole truth of everything. They'll tell you some of the truth. But at the end of the day, this is Sony's game to lose. They've been in this game for fucking, 25 years? Oh, for 25, 30 years? They've been dominating since they first came into the market. You don't fucking lose first place in dominating in the market just because your competition decide to fucking spend some money on some shit 25 years later. And if they do that and they do put you in third place or second place, then shame on you. All I can tell them is they better get good and they better know how to adapt to the new way of thinking, because it's not just Microsoft. You got Tencent that they smell blood in the water. They say, okay, these motherfuckers spend $100 billion. Okay, we got just as much money as Microsoft. Let us spend $100 billion. You don't think Apple's sitting back looking at this shit, right? The world's richest company said, "Oh hell yeah, game on! I got $100 billion. I'm ready to spend in this game." Some of these other people are gonna go out there and spend this money, right? Not just Tencent and Apple, but it's a ton of other people ready to take the spot. So Sony better get good. They better do what they've been doing for the last 30 years. So I'm not worried. And if they fall, if they go by the wayside, it is what it is. That's whoever makes the best games. That's where I'm at. And if Call of Duty brings you down to where you fucking can't function anymore, then you didn't need to be there. That's my take on it.
Preach, brother, preach.
I mean, there's a reason why they were denying the deal, right? I mean, you see what Jim Ryan is saying.
Jim Ryan saying we make all this fucking money, we got this contract, we're good. We don't want to let that shit go. But guess what? Jim Ryan got to let it go. His wants don't matter no more. The court has spoken. It's time to move on.
The thing is, I'm in agreement, to be honest with you, but I don't trust majority of these PlayStation companies because these dudes right here, once they see a live service game, what's going to happen? They're going to go that shit. No, they're not going to buy it. They're not going to play it. They're not going to do none of that shit. So
no, I agree.
Yo, Jebba,
majority of what PlayStation is trying to do when it comes to
suck. You know this.
Majority of what PlayStation is trying to do.
Service.
Let's say PlayStation's like, all right, let's do our own type of Call of Duty or whatnot. Guess what that game is gonna be? It's gonna be live service. What PlayStation majority of these PlayStation dudes are gonna be like? Oh, we're not gonna play that. We're gonna do live service.
Jabari, listen, I agree. Listen, Jabari, I agree with you 1,000%.
Let Extreme. Let Extreme talk. What you gonna say? Because he hasn't said much.
Yo, listen, guys. First of all, J-Dub, as much as I agree with you, I just do not think that this is a get good moment. I do not think that this is going to be as influential as people think it's going to be in the next 10 years. I think the play here is exactly what is it? Was it Jim Ryan? Yeah, he said that cloud is going to be a big part in the next 10 years, right? Between 2025 and 2035, that's when we're going to see cloud be active. So I think that's when Sony will have to bring forward an effort that they haven't done before, which is basically a serious move into the cloud space, because it will become more and more compelling as more and more markets are going to appreciate the capability of, streaming their games. I think that's the play here because when I was listening to Puertorock, talking about Microsoft has decided to buy Bethesda because of what PlayStation was doing for exclusivity. I think that's part of it, because at the end of the day, Xbox could not be put more out of position. Like, they're already on the back foot, and you're trying to take away one of the biggest games that is going to come out in a certain year, even though it's garbage. But it will be a big commercial, success. So if PlayStation was going to get that, then that was going to put them even more in a bad position. And I don't think they could have survived that. So I understand it from that perspective. But I think the biggest perspective is the cloud play, which is basically who was it? Was it Matt Booty or Aaron Greenberg that said in an email that, listen, we can spend Sony out of business because we can take the loss now. We can lose 2 or 3 billion now. In order to set ourselves up for the next 10 years. So again, this isn't the moment. We are too close to the start of this. And the way that Sony has to respond is not with more studio or more publisher purchases necessarily, but rather with actually coming up with a cloud infrastructure that will be able to be rolled out in the next 5 to 10 years to prepare for that shift. I do not think that consoles are going to go away, but I do think that certain markets are going to embrace the cloud in a way that makes it super compelling to be a player in those markets with that capability and that technology. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Well,
exclusivity matters, though. It matters, exclusivity, because in those 10 years that's going to pass, Microsoft might just put their xCloud infrastructure might be really good in 10 years, and the only place where you'll be able to play Bethesda games and Activision games will be on xCloud. That's the fight, basically. They're trying to get all these IPs up for them so that when their cloud infrastructure is good, they're like, yeah, we can only play here. Basically,
that's basically the play. I think that's the reason that they got Bethesda. That's the reason that they're going to try and buy more people. Not for the console, because I think that they want to exit the console brand. Everybody said it on this podcast, and I agree. It's for the cloud infrastructure. And I think that Sony's response, they already have a library of their own that is better than what Xbox has.
Oh, yeah.
But if they are caught off guard, when it comes to the technology, like, let's imagine that 10 years from now, xCloud is just slightly behind, your native experience, like just a little bit to the point where it's negligible. A bit like 4K Blu-rays nowadays are still marginally better than streaming 4K, but most people do not care about that. They don't care about that marginal difference. If the same is true for the gaming experience, then Sony will have to be right there in order to compete as well.
So I think the one thing that between movie and gaming is movie, I think, has a little bit less, how would you say, is less stricter.
It's passive.
Not passive. Well, it's passive, but I think
because you're just watching, you're not interacting with it.
Yeah, and I think though, like for example, let's say you're watching a streaming show, whatever. Pick any show that you watch. Then all of a sudden it pauses for a little bit. You get that little circle for whatever reason.
Yeah, the buffer.
A buffer, yeah.
Buffer.
But then it goes back. That's not a big deal. It could have been an interference from your microwave. It could have been the router. It could be all sorts of reasons. But that little buffer is not the end of the world. But that little buffer in a game could be very impactful depending the game you're playing. If you're playing sports games, you just can't do it. You're not going to play sports games on a cloud. I don't care who you are. It's not possible. You're going to lose more often than not, and it's going to be a very shitty, frustrating experience that you're trying to, get a goal or shoot a three-pointer, and you just can't get the timing because it's always off because you can't get that right connection. So that's one. Shooters, going to be also challenging for that one, right? So what type of game would let you not... I could maybe understand an RPG, like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, but I think that's going to be the main thing people... Like, people has this idea like, oh, watch, I stream my music, I stream my movies. Well, it was only logical that I could stream my games and it'll be just as fun until you actually play it, because music and movies is passive. But you're interacting with the game, and when your interaction is not... When the game is not meeting your input... That's where you're gonna get frustrated. You understand what I'm saying? And that's something that
Here's
you don't
my
have.
mindset.
And that's where I think where I understand what people are saying because of music and movies. You stream it and like, so why can't it make sense? Well, the big difference is you're not interacting with those mediums. The main thing about a game is you're gonna make a decision. You're gonna tell the controller, I made this decision, and you want the game to react immediately to your decision. And whenever the game doesn't do that, that's frustration. Now the game's not doing what you want it to do. And I think that's going to be until they resolve that, that's where things are going to suck.
But if you look, P-Rock,
I think it's good.
Go ahead.
I think it's gonna be hard for them to resolve that issue because, like you said, there's many variables that will cause you to have any sort of issues with your Wi-Fi connectivity.
That's outside of their control. Like, it's not their fault. You got a shitty router.
It right now. GeForce Now is the best cloud service right now. It feels basically as close to native as it's going to get for a while. But like you said, if you have any sort of buffer or your area doesn't have good connectivity, you're going to have issues. If the server is really far away or whatever. I think the bigger picture here that unfortunately I don't see Microsoft is seeing it this way, but I am glad that other companies like NVIDIA did with GeForce Now, and hopefully PlayStation is as well, because PlayStation doesn't see cloud as that's where we want to be at. When NVIDIA put this perspective out with their GeForce Now that cloud is not meant to replace anything. It's meant to be a companion app to whatever you do already. So if you game on consoles, well, you can get GeForce Now, and you can put your Steam account, and you can play your games. Same if you play on PC. Microsoft is sort of marketing it as is like this is going to replace your PC and your Xbox if you want a game, and I don't think that's going to be the right way, because I might be wrong, but in 10 years it will be really good. But like you said, P-Rock, it's going to have issues that are out of control of Microsoft and the end user. So I think the strategy, at least from what I see Microsoft doing, is that they want to replace the hardware that you got, and I think that's a mistake.
Let me hit up some super chats real quick.
When we talk,
let me catch up to super chats. So Thirsty PS Gamer Reviews. Oh, Thrifty. I'm sorry, I said Thirsty. My bad.
Oh,
Thrifty.
what you thinking about,
man,
bro? What you thinking
Thrifty.
Hey,
PS Gamer
your wife
Reviews. Back? Yo, no, she's not back.
He's thinking.
Okay.
I'm still
hurting, dog. I'm hurting right now. I need some. The pipes are drained. The pipes are backed up. Thrifty PS
We
Games
do not
review.
need to know that.
We got. He said, "I do not need to know that." Well, you talk about Beyonce, damn it. All right. At least my shit could come true. MS.
Oh wow! Never say never.
Damn, burn,
Never say
bro.
never.
Hey, that's it,
Wow,
man.
low blow, low blow.
Just always ask the question though. MS bought the whole farm. Half the cows will leave. Okay, interesting. You know, what was it? That developer from Arcane? He retired. He's like, you may have bought Bethesda,
director.
but you didn't buy me. Oh
Yeah.
shit! All right.
People are.
That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting if the culture's good, or if there's people who are leaving, be like, you know what, I ain't working for this damn publisher. I'm out.
Oh,
Who
why
knows?
would you?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Guapzilla.
Oh.
Shout out to Guap. My man said they tried to buy Square and were turned down. Same with Sega. Oh, interesting. I think
That's
there
what I was
a
gonna
conversation-
ask you.
Yeah.
Because can an American company buy a Japanese? Or Chinese
Yes,
company, right?
unless they're on
There's
some
a-
list. So there's a list Japan has that's like.
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on the company. If
Okay,
so,
okay.
so it's a list. So it's not carte blanche. A lot of people think it's carte blanche. No,
Okay.
Japan has a specific list that if any foreign entity tries to buy them, Japan's like, no, you can't. Sorry.
That's why when you mentioned that when PlayStation quote unquote crossed the line by making deals with Bethesda, that's when I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense because I had that mindset.
Yeah.
But now you're saying no, it depends.
Yeah.
So
Septic Sauce. You know, with the
Lame.
€5. He says, rest in peace, PlayStation.
rip.
He says,
As it should,
yeah,
as it
yeah.
should.
He says, y'all had a good run. Looking forward to J-Dub's arrival to the UK. I'll guide you to the light. So what you're saying
shit.
is November MPD unlock.
My
Not, bro.
biggest question when it comes to this acquisition is how Microsoft is saying that they're going to run Activision like they doing Bethesda, right? Like it's going to be independent. But everything that Activision has been saying shows that they don't want to put their big blockbuster games in those servers.
All right. So
So I want to see how that's going to play
that's
out
easy.
because
I got
two
the
of them
answer for
have
that.
two different
got the
directions
answer.
of how
I
they
got
look,
the
how they
answer.
view their game.
Who's the daddy? They literally, think about it. They literally renegotiated Indiana Jones and Bethesda didn't even know what was happening.
Well, if
That's
you're
what I'm
Bob,
saying.
if you
That's
don't
what
like
I'm saying.
something-
That's what I'm saying. This whole Microsoft hands off is a lie. Just let it go, Jay Barry. They literally made decision on Activision and CEO didn't even know. They out there, hey Nintendo, we're gonna put Call of Duty. Hey, Boost Story, we're gonna put Call of Duty. And Bobby Kotick found out when he opened up his phone. And they didn't
Bobby
even
Kotick
own
was like, Nintendo?
And listen, and they didn't even own Activision. Imagine what they're gonna do when they actually do own them. They're already making promises without even at least sending an email to Bobby. Imagine when they own his ass. That whole independent, hands off, don't believe that bullshit. They already demonstrated that that's a lie. They're making decisions without even the publishers or the people in the know to know. That's you could just scratch that off. Anything about we let our creative, no, they're not. They're lying. They are not only are they in charge, they are making decisions even before. Let's say like if they bought What's Up PlayStation podcast, they already have the next guest signed up and they didn't even tell you yet until the day of the podcast. That's how much.
Exclusive to iTunes.
That's how
Exclusive
much.
to iTunes now.
They're like, hey yo, Jay Barry, you're gonna interview Adam Greenberg in about an hour. You're like, what? That's right. That's how they are. They're
Also, you're an Xbox podcast now.
yeah, and now it's What's Up Xbox. And you didn't even know.
I think
That's
I think the implications
So after
that
the
Jay Barry
FTC,
is saying.
what? Well, I'm saying after the FTC, the whole Xbox off hands, that's a lie. Unless it's written in ink, like Bungie and Sony did. Unless it's in ink, don't believe that shit. Because Bungie and Sony, they wrote it in ink. That's part of their arrangement, right? Because Bungie wanted to do it that way to protect themselves. So unless it's
because goodbye PlayStation.
Yeah, unless it's written in ink, don't believe that nonsense. Unless that's in the fine print, they in charge. They in control. They may not know what they're doing, but they are 100% running shit. They're not playing that bullshit.
I think that what Jay Barry is implying is that if they don't buy Call of Duty, right? Let's say they don't buy it, Call of Duty will stay the same, and they might go up or down depending on what Bobby Kotick does. But now that you say, right, because you're right, Phil Spencer and Satya are the bosses. Like, there might be such a struggle within Activision and Xbox if they get acquired, because obviously we know that Bobby Kotick and other people amongst Activision don't want their games on Game Pass. There might be this very big turbulence that will get people to just leave Activision or Xbox at this point, and those IPs will become basically irrelevant. So one way or another, Microsoft will end up killing those franchises.
Well, here's the thing: Bobby Kotick don't want it now because he's in charge. It's his company. So yeah, at this point in time, with him being in charge, hey, this is not a good idea. We're not doing it. Once he gets that $400 million check, he's like, I don't give a fuck what y'all do. That's your problem now. That shit ain't got shit to do with me. You know, as long as I'm in charge and I'm the one running this shit, now we're not doing Game Pass. But now once you buy me, can I have my $500 million? All right, later. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want, not my problem. I did my job. You know, you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. That whole Microsoft on hands, don't lie. They are 100% all up.
They're
in
hands
that.
on when it's
They're up in the coochie.
convenient.
They are up in that coochie. They are all up in it. They are grabbing the damn eggs in the uterus. They're all up in it.
I think Redfall
that's the
showed
best
us
way I
that.
could put it. They're all that. I can't put it anywhere. They're like all up in it.
I think Redfall showed us how.
Wow.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah.
Stop.
They drove past. They drove past the clit. They're all up in the uterus. They're staring down the fallopian tubes. They're all up in it.
Oh my god,
Wow.
bro!
That's
Biology class in here, bro.
Man, people are
Jesus,
horny.
what are you looking up? What are you looking up, bro? Like, just look up porn. Just look up PORN online.
Hey, I am a good
But
Christian.
he's looking up biology shit.
I am a good Christian man. All right. I am.
He doesn't look up porn. He just looks up biology and looks at the picture.
I am a good Christian man. Okay. All right. Let me finish.
He doesn't look up the devil's entertainment. He doesn't look up the devil's entertainment.
That's it.
So what
heathens, all of you,
that,
all of you are heathens. Let me finish the super chat real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The next one is Alfonso Carter, channel member. My brother, 60 Frank don't like family. He says Xbox going to kill off consoles for GP and CP. Okay.
Oh, what's CP? Okay. Why are you abbreviating it like that?
Cloud,
what is that?
CPPC or
cloud
platform? Cloud platform?
COD points? What is that?
Punani? I don't know.
Oh my god. No, go ahead. Continue, bro. Continue.
And J-Row49 says this ABK crap means nothing. You know, I mean, if you don't really play,
right now
if you don't play COD, you know, and Caster. All right. What up, my bro? I haven't seen you in a minute. He says, I agree with Jay Barry, but I think Microsoft's intent is to put Sony out of business. That email from 2017 confirmed what I thought. Sony needs to react.
2019, right?
Microsoft been undercutting Sony lately. I think it was 2019.
Yeah, we can't sit up in here and say like a company that rivals another company when they buy biggest game in their market and be like, yo, it's not a big deal.
Oh,
I don't know what's wrong with
no. I didn't say it was not a big deal. I did not say that.
No, I'm talking like in the chat.
No, yeah. There's like literally. All right, so let's go there. It is a big deal because remember, these are one of the few games that even Sony gave. They pretty much gave Activision carte blanche. Like, they don't even charge Activision the same amount that they charge other companies. I think it's like a 80-20 split or 90-10 split. Like, Call of Duty is a powerful IP. They've been successful since 2007. That Call of Duty game's been on point every goddamn year, non-stop. You know, even the worst Call of Duties still financially, you know, do their thing. So it is a big deal in terms of that and stuff like that, right? So as far as that goes, one of the bigger games that's on PlayStation is now in the hands of Microsoft, right? And to Jay Barry's point, for the gamers that do play on PlayStation, right? And they got all these experiences and things that they like on PlayStation, those things most likely will go away. Sure, you can argue the skins and stuff like that, which may or may not be a big deal, but you best believe nothing's guaranteed that you'll have the DualSense controllers or stuff. Or if anything, Sony implements in the future to make gaming better from a hardware perspective, whether it's a controller or something, those things necessarily may not be in the game because the Xbox doesn't do it. So if the Xbox doesn't do it, then you're not going to get it on PlayStation because they're not going to give you an extra feature that their own console don't have. So you're just going to get default slate the Xbox standard. Even if your console has extra like the haptics, even if like you won't get haptics rumbles, you'll get basic rumble, which is no different than what the Xbox has. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing I can see.
Answer something that Corley said.
That who?
Before the super chats, which is kind of going back a bit, but the importance of cloud is not so much to replace, for us, our local hardware, like you were talking about, P-Rock and Corley J. It's about opening new markets, because when I went to Africa, in my country, the PlayStation 5 costs about 4 times as much as it does anywhere else. Yeah. So and this is a third world country. This is a poorer country. So for that country, it's almost impossible to expect that more than let's say 1 million people are going to be able to buy this thing.
Got it.
So cloud now comes into play, and yes, people will have to be educated. I will have to tell my cousin, hey, listen, if you get onto this PlayStation Cloud thing, you're not going to be able to play FIFA. You're not going to be able to play baseball. You're not going to be able to play fighting games. But you can play God of War. You can play Last of Us. You can play this and you can play that. So there is a need, and there are markets out there in the world to be satisfied by cloud that honestly could not really realistically be done any other way. So that is the true advantage. And I think that's the potential that these companies want to tap into. It's not about making us and converting us into cloud gamers. It's about converting people that will be gamers into console gamers or console-like gamers through the cloud, because they just couldn't afford the hardware. Because we complain about a console going from $500 to $550. Imagine if you had to pay $2,000 for the PlayStation 5. And that's the reality in a lot of countries. That's how much it costs. For them, it's not a theoretical exercise. It's a reality. So my cousins do not have a PlayStation 5, and most of them don't even have the PlayStation 4 because that's still too expensive. So, a lot of them are still on the PS3. So if you tell someone, hey, instead of having this $2,000 expense that you have to somehow come up with in a market where coming up with that money will take a lot longer than it does in the, first world countries, you say, hey, you can just go to your PC. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You maybe buy a controller, which might cost you $120 because it's a bit more expensive, but it's not as bad. And then suddenly you have access to this library of games. Yes, you cannot play everything and have a good experience, but you can play, let's say, 70% of the things. And that's a brand new market of people. That's billions of people that they could have access to. So that's what I wanted to say about why cloud
that's
is
a good
so
point.
important.
I want to respond real quick.
That's a fair.
Because that's why marketing really matters. And right now, every time that Puertorock brings up the whole point with xCloud, that they get someone into xCloud and then they're like, yo, where's FIFA at, right? Because they don't know that there's certain games that aren't on that system or on the xCloud. It's marketing. Xbox markets xCloud as if play Xbox games but on the cloud. Whereas GeForce is play this library that you own and it's supported by us on the cloud. If Xbox markets xCloud like that, it'll make a lot more sense. There won't be as much confusion.
There is one statement, you do
right. They don't know.
Some people say you don't need an Xbox. That is not a true statement.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. Because there's a lot of games you're not going to be able to play on the cloud that you can play on the Xbox. So it's true. It depends on what statement. So when people say you don't even need an Xbox, you can play on the cloud. No, you need an Xbox or a PC, because those two platforms you play everything. xCloud, you don't play everything. It's a limited library.
One more thing. Microsoft announced a while ago that they are planning to make the games that you own on your Xbox, you can stream them through xCloud. But I still think even then, not every game will be supported because it has to do with licensing and stuff. Similar to GeForce. GeForce has to make licenses with these developers and publishers to put their games on their service. I don't think it would be as easy as I own GTA on my console, therefore I can stream it to myself through the cloud. I can see remote play working like that, obviously, but xCloud, I don't think it's going to work that way. Even when they add your owned library into the ecosystem. But yeah, back to what you were saying.
All right. Back to the super chat. We got Face23BKNY with the super chat, with the super duper. He says, "What's to stop Apple buying EA for $40 billion? Floodgates are open now. Sony has to start marrying the studio or publisher a lot faster than waiting 10 years to put a ring on it. So it's true though. Like, if let's say Amazon or anybody else was just waiting to see how this plays out, you're right. The floodgates are open now. It's a free market field now. Because if you're okay with Microsoft doing that, then Amazon could be like, you know what, we got to prop up our Luna. We're gonna buy EA or we're gonna buy Take-Two.
You're right.
And there's nothing that's gonna stop them. Especially them, because they hardly have anything to begin with. So they're definitely they probably could buy Take-Two and EA, because they could say, "Listen, we don't got they could say we don't got anything." Mm-hmm. So you can't really hold. Yeah, we don't got anything.
Yeah, but why would Apple do it when they make the most money? They make more money than anyone in gaming, and they don't have to.
That's my point. Yeah. It's different. I like that super chat because it brings up an interesting point, and it's not as black and white as like this company is rich and is gonna buy this big ass publisher, right? Because Apple buying EA, let's say it does happen, I don't see Apple making all their games only on the iPhone and the Mac. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. They don't have a console.
Yeah, unless Apple's trying to get into AAA gaming, that's not the right company for them.
Exactly.
So all these other companies,
Amazon,
the only companies like
might be
the only company that you worry about. The only real companies to worry about are the big three: Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, because they have their platform that they have to prop up.
I don't necessarily think you need a platform. You can just be a publisher. You know what I mean? They will put their games and they will publish or distribute the games.
But what would be the incentive?
Right?
Yeah, but the thing about Apple's all about being tight with the. Apple has this. They are still concerned with the hardware and the software matching. Like they hold their hardware as just as important as their software, and they both have to marry up together.
Eventually, they will get into the hardware, but I'm just saying, like,
of course,
that wouldn't stop any of these other companies.
Amazon is free reign, I think.
Yeah,
right. No. What I'm saying, Jay Barry, what I'm saying is that they can buy them. I can see Apple buying EA, for example, right? But it's not the same as Apple buying EA as Xbox buying EA, right? Because Xbox, you can compare EA to Bethesda.
The thing is, what we're getting wrong though. Call me Jay. It's not Xbox buying whatever. Xbox ain't buy shit. Xbox did not buy Bethesda. Xbox is not buying
or Microsoft.
Activision.
Yeah,
exactly. Microsoft have nothing to do really and truly with gaming. They went outside to go to Microsoft to try to get this for Xbox, but it's not an Xbox acquisition. It's a Microsoft acquisition. On both,
right? But my point is that Microsoft has more incentive to make certain games exclusive to their platform, whereas Apple doesn't, because they don't have one. They don't have a platform that's powerful enough to run
outside of mobile they can, but right, console
of course.
Side of things, yeah.
Listen, guys, Apple is not going to buy an EA or any publisher, because Apple is not in the culture of letting people be independent. If they buy somebody, they want to absorb them in-house, which means that they want them to work with their technology and their ecosystem. Yeah. If they can't have that level of control over it, like, Apple has never bought a product and be like, oh yeah, we'll just make it available everywhere anyway, and not have anything exclusive to our platform that makes our platform better or more competitive. Or, you know,
the UK is the only one forcing them to do it. If it's not the government, they're not going to do anything.
They don't even want to put like USB-C on their iPhones, because they're like, nah.
Yeah, they don't even want that. They want their own USB. I'm like, what? They want an Apple specific USB-C. I'm like,
exactly.
So, like, what?
Oh, they have NFC chips. They have the NFC chips in the phone, and we're not opening this up to anyone.
They're complying. They're complying for the USB-C, but they're apparently the rumor is that they're gonna make it so it has to be their USB-C cable. Otherwise, it won't charge as fast or whatever the fuck. So they're still gonna do it.
They're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way.
Oh, by the way, Puertorock Cloud is here. He hasn't said a word, so we should probably
let him
here?
Speak. Oh shit!
Yo, you're not keeping an eye out, bro.
How long you been in here?
Like 10 minutes.
It's been a while.
Yeah. He said, I don't want to watch the stream. I'll just be there and listen to it live.
Oh shit! That's that you haven't been here for a while. You know? Oh snap! What's up, Project?
Yeah, I don't know, like an hour or something
before,
like that.
Project Cloud go. Yeah, I'm about to dip out because I gotta go work early in the morning.
No doubt, brother.
Some stuff,
right.
So I could catch some sleep. But yo, it was good talking to you guys, man, and I'm pretty sure this competition will have an encore very soon.
This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting times. Sure. All right, my brother, man.
Yeah. Have a good night, though, man.
You too, brother.
Good night, bro.
Hey, Project, what do you think about all this?
interesting day that kind of didn't go the way I would have expected. Because honestly, I was sort of thinking that this deal is going to get canceled. And now with today's news, I'm kind of like,
you thought it was going to get canceled?
Prior to today's ruling, I thought that the deal was going to get axed. But I'll be honest with you, now seeing the ruling, I'm kind of like, it looks like it's going to go through. Now, to be fair, it's not totally done yet. The deal hasn't been like formally closed or announced that that's like happening. But like, there's a July 18th deadline, and like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Activision just says like, hey, you know, that's the deadline. We're not changing it, and if it's not closed by then, it's $3 billion that they get. Or if they end up agreeing to be like, hey, let's put an extension on this so we can clear past the CMA hurdles, and even because the FTC is going to probably try to appeal to a higher court. You know, I guess, is it the Supreme Court that would be the next one? I don't know, but
it's an appeals court, not
it's
Supreme.
Not over, but it's a really interesting timing, like what's going to happen in like between now and like I guess literally a week from now. So
yeah, it's an appeals court, not Supreme Court.
Just let it go through, man. Whatever, bro. Just let them have their.
There's still kinks to work through.
Yeah, man.
Even if the deal closes like before July 18th or on July 18th, I mean, the deal could still be unwound. But again, I think it does get tougher if you close the deal already and then you're trying to unwind it. It's still possible, but it gets less likely when you're in that situation.
Okay.
Hold the line, bro. Hold the line.
I'll say this. I have mixed feelings on this because on the one hand, I'm like, well, Microsoft, in comparison to Sony, Microsoft isn't in first place. So this acquisition, I would say in one sense, majorly increases their ability to compete with Sony. But on the other hand, I can also see it as, well, this is a monopoly. Because you already got Bethesda, now you're going to get Activision too. So it's either way, you know, there could be some wins and there could be some loses. And honestly, my preference would be that Activision not be acquired, just because I think it's better to have an independent Activision that wants to produce for all platforms. And you even see, like, even in some of the court stuff that came out, like, I think even Activision was just saying, like, yeah, of course we're going to be making stuff for PlayStation because this Xbox Game Pass deal, that just does not work unless you're being bought by Microsoft, of course. So it's really interesting.
Game Pass is so bad for them that they decided to make a deal for PS Now and put Call of Duty Black Ops there rather than Game Pass. That's a good perspective to have. That's how bad that shit is.
All right. So hey, let me move over to the next topic because I'm gonna tackle this one last topic. I just want to get your point. It may not last long, but it's been announced that EA is now making. They opened up a new developer studio, and their first project is a AAA single player Black Panther game.
Oh, it's a new studio.
Yeah, it's a new studio also.
Cool.
So let me start out with Extreme. What do you think of this? And there's conversations. People have their reservations about this game being successful, but they're referencing the previous superhero games that were more gas oriented, vice single player. Right? They're not using Spider-Man and Batman. They're using Gotham, Avengers, Suicide Squad's being delayed a whole year. So what do you think about this? Are you excited?
First of all, I want no white people in this one.
Oh my god, this guy, bro.
Yep.
Listen,
first thing.
Man.
First thing first, no white people. Because I want some people to feel, and you know what I want them to say when they ask the director? I want them to say that it breached the narrative boundaries of the game. You know, just so that people can understand where I was coming from. All right? I'll buy you just for that.
So you're terrible. You are absolutely terrible. Like,
really, Mr. Felician Tubes or whatever you were talking about.
Yes, but at least everyone can partake in it.
Everyone can partake in your wife's troops.
No, I didn't say my wife. I'm talking about what Microsoft was
You
all
both
up.
are horny. What's
I said
going on,
Microsoft
bro?
was all up the and it's fallopian tubes. Microsoft was all up.
All right.
the fallopian tubes.
Thank you for the
That's what I
biology
was
lesson.
saying.
Listen. I don't trust EA. I really don't.
really?
They've ruined Mass
Why not?
Effect.
Why not?
They've ruined Dragon Age. What else did they ruin?
Did they?
Yeah.
No. Let's roll it back. Hold on. Why do you not trust EA, and why did they ruin these franchises that you're talking about? EA didn't develop them.
Mass Effect.
BioWare.
Well,
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah.
What
Mass
what
Effect
happened
3.
there?
And
The
Anthem.
ending. Terrible.
Okay.
Anthem.
Awful.
Anthem.
Mass Effect
Okay.
Andromeda. Yeah.
Anthem.
Okay.
Was really
Dragon
bad.
Age
what's-
2. After
All right.
Dragon Age Origins.
Okay.
Dragon Age 2.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm talking.
That's a lot. That's a lot of evidence. That
No,
is
it
a
is
lot
a
of
lot.
evidence.
Hold on.
That
It
is
is a lot,
overwhelming amount
but-
of evidence.
That's 10 years ago. I'm talking
No,
about
let me
now.
finish. Let me finish. I got more.
Talk about PS4 generation, please. Go on.
Dragon Age Inquisition, which was basically
I heard
just a fluke.
Was it? I heard it was very
Yeah,
successful.
it was.
And people
I
thought it was a
played
good
it.
game.
Loved the game, but I was like, yo,
Okay.
you just skated by. You
So it's a good
just
game.
skated by. Okay, because it was barely a Dragon Age game. Let's face it. Okay.
Okay.
What else have they done? Oh yeah, Dragon Age 4. They wanted to turn that into a live service. That's why they've been keeping it on the wraps for so long. Also, I'm just gonna say the Star Wars game, they're not that impressive. I'm sorry, everybody goes crazy over Fallen Order and Survivor. Fallen Order wasn't that good a game. Like it got a 7 out of 10, probably deserved a 5. Like it was fine.
Okay,
If it wasn't Star
technically-
Wars, people wouldn't have cared for it.
Technically, it is a completed game and it's fully functioning. It's not a bad game. It's just not a game you like.
Yeah,
that you
it's just
like.
not what people like. When I say these things like the Mass Effect Andromedas and everything, everybody goes, "Oh, what about Star Wars?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not really the example you want to use, though. Like, it's not,
Yeah, but like the reason why I'm like nagging you about it.
Still a thing.
Okay.
Ultimate Pack.
Right.
I'm saying EA is not really the company.
If you were running EA, Extreme, if you're running EA, you wouldn't change a goddamn thing about FIFA. You wouldn't. You wouldn't be like, oh, you know what?
I actually like FIFA. I actually
get
like
the
football.
fuck out of here. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be like,
I actually
let me.
respect the sport. I think it deserves a game.
If you're making that much money, you wouldn't change your ways to make that game more for the players.
But I feel like you could make that much money still while being a little bit less scummy. I
agree. I agree, but how can you put that into perspective?
Okay,
right?
but listen, you're not asking me to be the CEO of EA,
right?
I'm
asking you to give me examples. Yes. The thing is that
right,
you
on the
mentioned.
spot. Here's what I would do. I will have
Give me
prices.
PS4 games.
What?
Give me PS4 games. Because you're mentioning PS3 generation games that are out.
Mass Effect
and some
Andromeda was a PS4 game.
Okay, right. Let me question you about that. Was that EA's fault, or was that BioWare taking forever to release the game, and then EA's like, you know what, bro?
I don't give a shit. No, they're the publisher. You take half the blame. They're the developer. They take half the blame.
You mentioned Anthem. That was the same shit.
That's
BioWare taking forever, and EA was like, "Yo,
are you defending EA?
Listen, I'm
confused.
Well, he does play Battlefield. He plays Battlefield.
Battlefield.
I think
there we go.
2042. I think EA sucks, but I don't put the blame solely on EA for BioWare's mistakes.
I never put the blame solely on EA. I'm just saying.
Holistically, they suck.
Yeah, they just suck.
A lot of their EA original games that came out in last generation are really good
but
games.
those are specifically EA original games, and I will give you that.
EA.
When EA doesn't touch the game and they just fund the money, yes, they are good.
Okay, how did they touch BioWare with Anthem and the other one?
They own them. What are you talking about? They don't own the people that work on the EA Originals program. They don't own those. Those are indie developers. They literally don't own them.
So you say they don't have an influence in them when they're making
I didn't
the
say
game?
that. I said they don't own them. Why are you changing my words?
They still haven't, but they have an influence.
Okay,
so they could change.
Own them, right? And I say
Yes.
they don't own them. BioWare, they own. Let me put it this way. If an EA original game turned out to be shit, I wouldn't blame EA. Because, again, EA does not own that publisher, that developer, right? But for developers they do own, I do blame them. Because they own them.
Okay, but like the what I'm saying is, like, with BioWare specifically, those two games took many years to make, way too long to make, 6+ years, right? Anthem and
Why are you defending EA?
I am not. I'm just giving a perspective because, like, you're saying EA sucks, fuck EA, but EA has good games.
I know the story. I know what
Right.
happened. But
So
I
why
do
can't
blame
you trust EA when they recently have been making a bunch of single player games?
Right. I'm trying to.
Yes, but like they have a ton of single player games that are really, really good, and like people
what?
love those games.
Like what?
The Star Wars games, the Fallen Order, and then the new one that just came out.
Okay, they don't
Those
suck.
are two examples.
I'll give you that. That they are. They are.
So
good.
what's wrong with Black Panther being on the EA?
Okay, can I get you that now?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, what was I saying? Right. I don't trust EA. Let's start there. They're making a brand new studio, so I guess they get the benefit of the doubt. However, I just feel that they are not going to rise to the level of a Spider-Man from Insomniac.
No.
And I feel like that is what we need to get to. We want to get to a Batman Arkham Knight, or the Arkham series. We want to get to a Spider-Man trilogy, because it's 3 now. Yeah, it's 3 now. We want to get to that level of gameplay. And I just don't know if EA has it in them to fund a game to that level. That is going to be single player only. It's not going to have any microtransactions or loot boxes. I would say that Star Wars as a whole is about half of what Spider-Man is as a game. And I would like a Black Panther game to be matching a Spider-Man, to be as good, if not better, than a Spider-Man game. Mm-hmm. And so I don't trust EA to be the ones to do that. In fact, even though I still don't like Ubisoft, I think I trust Ubisoft to do that more so than I trust EA.
I don't know. You get them big ass continent and just fetch quests. It'll be like Assassin's Creed. It'll be like Assassin's. It'll be like Assassin's Panther.
Yeah, it'll be Assassin's Creed. That's
but you see, the thing is, P-Rock, you know what that shows though? They have put the dedication, because when you look at a game like Assassin's Creed Unity, which was a terrible game at launch, they at least had, like, you could see the creativity. You could see that there were people behind there that had the vision to put in all those details, to detail the environment, to just really go hard and trying to make a really, really good game. I think they just ran out of, good managers or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the point is, at the beginning, they were going for it. Okay. When I played Star Wars Fallen Order, all I saw were just the invisible walls and the shortcuts and everything else. And I was like, yeah, you didn't really go, like, you didn't go to bat. You just wanted to, like, have an average game. You didn't want to win the championship. You didn't have it in you. So I just don't see EA having that in them. And the last examples, which BioWare, to their, like, I'm coming back to BioWare, but I'm like, BioWare was BioWare. BioWare used to be the way that we used to look at CG Projekt Red. So to say that, like, oh, it's BioWare's fault, I'm like, yeah, but it's BioWare's fault after who bought them, And the same people that bought BioWare are still running EA. So, Andrew Wilson, he's still at the top. There's been no change in that. So I have no reason to think that they're going to do any better with this one. So, yeah, you've ruined BioWare. And if you manage to do that, I think it's kind of fair for people to look at you sideways when you say you're going to handle something else. Because it's like, what did you do to BioWare, though?
I think it's hard for any third-party company to
working on Iron Man game.
They are, right?
Yeah, EA. New Iron Man game is also under EA.
I think it's hard for any of these people to make a game that's going to be at the level, if not higher, than Spider-Man on PlayStation, because it's just a third-party studio. They got to put games out.
Well, but Rockstar did it
to give you an idea. So the studio, the new studio's
right.
The new studio's name is Cliffhanger Games, and is led by Kevin Stevens, who oversaw the production of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor and Middle-earth: Shadow of War at Monolith Productions. Okay. So he's responsible. Or he also production of those two games, the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. So how did you ever play? Did you play those games, Extreme?
I did. I played the first one. I played Shadow of Mordor.
Mordor, yeah.
And I thought, I thought that when the Nemesis system came in, it was kind of confusing to me. But it was kind of a cool idea. But nothing else about the game was particularly great. Again, it was like, but I feel, you know what? I'll give them that. I feel that was more because it was Lord of the Rings, and you have certain narrative boundaries and certain things that you have to adhere to.
I agree.
That may restrict your.
You have to be boundaries of the franchise.
And also like what certain enemies can do. Like you can't have an orc that behaves in a certain way because that's closer to like
an orc,
this other thing. So there's a lot of restrictions that you have to work with when you work with a license. So I give them that. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like he created a 7 out of 10 game or series of games. So he could rise to a 9, because Black Panther, I think he could be like, yeah, it's not been done in a
And it's
while
an
in
original
video game
story
form.
too.
Exactly,
So it's not
original
gonna be
story, I
it's
can
not
go
gonna be based
crazy.
off a movie or another game. So it's kind of like
Exactly.
what it's the right decision that Insomniac did with Spider-Man.
Yep.
They didn't try to
create
copy
a brand new story.
a brand
Yeah.
new universe.
Yep.
It says other members of the team at Cliffhanger worked on Halo, God of War, and Call of Duty.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what I want to see? If you want to give me confidence, if they didn't say developers worked on those games, but rather the managers and the project leads behind those games.
Yeah, like who
Because
are the
really,
Yes.
that's what matters.
like who are the people? Like if you got the guy who
You bring
served
a
coffee that was on the
Yeah,
set.
that's
like,
a really, really good point you
Like,
bring
I
up.
ordered the
because there's
pizza.
a lot of people use that little slogan of like, yeah, we worked on Left 4 Dead, and it's like, yeah, did you really though?
Like, what
'Cause if
did
you
you
look
do?
at it, it's only like 4 people out of everybody that
Yeah.
worked on it.
like what
So-
did you do? I ordered the coffee.
It was the
Like,
managers, that saw the screens of the developers. Like, oh yeah, we worked on
Like
it for sure.
if you tell me you get like a Shannon Studstill, she's the one that was the project manager for I think God of War 2018. If you tell me that she's on board, I'm like yes, because she has proven that she can direct
Facts.
talent to make something great. So I feel like you need the Corey Barlogs, you need the Neil Druckmanns, but you also need the people behind them that are whipping them and be like, no, you're not going to be this ambitious, because not everybody is going to be a Kojima where he can just go crazy off bunkers and somehow it comes together at the end. Most people need that kind of person that's going to be like, yeah, listen, all of your creative ambitions, that's for the next game. So stick to
that's
the
what I
scope of this one.
mentioned. That's what I mentioned on last week's podcast. That the biggest problem with gaming isn't really the budget; it's more so the management. We need people that put developers' feet to the fire and be like, "No, this is what we're doing. Let's stick to it, and let's get this game out." Because a lot of the budgets, most of the money, it gets spent on them reinventing the wheel and shit. That's why, for example, Anthem was a big mess because it's like they kept rebooting the game over and over, trying to be like, "What are we gonna do here?" It was bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I think that's it. I just wanted to make sure we hit that one topic, but I think we hit everything. I think the FTC really extended the conversation and stuff like that. But we'll see.
Really did.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I think it's not over. Eventually, we probably won't see the effects. Well, the deal hasn't been done yet, but I think it's safe to say it's going to happen. Then once it closes, we'll see the after effects. Especially, I think what will really change things is next gen, because that's when everything starts fresh, right? Yeah. And then nobody has a PlayStation 6, nobody has the new Xbox consoles. How Microsoft advertises Xbox and Call of Duty going forward, that's going to be interesting for next generation, right? But with that, let's do our outros. Yeah. We'll start from the top. Call me Jay.
Yo, what's up, man? I'm glad for being here again. I don't really have much to say, but what you mentioned just now about this, about the realness that we're going to see, the big things are going to be next gen, because in my opinion, this gen has been kind of deflated, and there's many reasons because of that, right? Like the scalpers, the chip shortages, the COVIDs, the cross-gen games. There's too many cross-gen games, or have been for a couple years. So I feel like this generation kind of had a bunch of stumbles in the beginning. So it's not really, it doesn't feel like a big leap. So I agree with you there. The next gen will be the big one, I feel.
Okay.
But yeah, catch me on Twitch. Call me J360 on Twitch. I've been streaming Assassin's Creed 3, BattleBit, some PS2 games like SSX3, really dope game, and Freakstyle. It's just a motorcycle game called Freakstyle. It's really cool. So if you're down for that, catch me on Twitch.
All right. E4 Extreme, my brother.
Yo, listen, guys. Thank you so much for having me here. What do I want to leave saying? Listen, this ABK deal, I still think is gonna get blocked. Okay, I'm gonna stand on that hill.
You still think?
I'm gonna stand on that hill. Somebody has to. What did they say?
What else you gotta do?
Yeah?
Hold the line. You holding the line?
Listen, I still think it's going to be blocked, which is why I'm not interested in talking about every single time he ebbs back and forth.
I'm just going to tell you, man, Rambo, go home, man. Get your VA clean. War's over. War's over, man. It's time to collect that government check. It's time to retire, bro. Thank you.
I just
thank you for your service,
that the
brother.
after effects of opening up the entire industry to be bought in such a way will be too devastating. And I just think that somebody's going to realize that.
Hey, it's happening, man. Hey, gaming's about to get hoarded out.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't want it to be. I care about this hobby,
It's
consolidation has never been good for customers. It's never been good for you. in the long term. So I don't want to bring up all those points because I feel like, if you listen to Brad, if you listen to people on Mutu's podcast, they've already brought up all of these points. So if you're educated, you already know all these things. So I'm just going to wait until, the final dice is played, like I said, then I'll give you all of my thoughts on it. But in the meantime, the play-by-play, I'm done with
Listen, brother, man, it's trying to make this gaming community, it's trying to make this gaming industry twerk. It's time to buy them out.
Stop, dude.
I'm saying
I do support twerking.
We're gonna make it rain.
I do support twerking.
Microsoft's that baller. He's getting all the hoes in the strip club.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Can I just say?
Listen, if you want some girls to twerk in front of you, you better whip out that credit card, bro.
God damn,
that's it. Microsoft is balling.
Something else. Something for the fallopian tubes.
Something for the fallopian tubes.
Yo, I was gonna say it's a gangster move that Phil Spencer's pulled though, being like, "Hey, you want Starfield? Yeah, I'm buying the cow." Like, I like that move. I like that. That's
what he said. He said
I like that.
You keep playing with me. Keep playing with me, man. You went through like that, and Project Cloud dipped.
He dipped.
So anyway,
like, no outro for me.
He's like, "Yep, no outro for me." He's like, "I won't have nothing to do with the fallopian."
It's my outro.
Right. He's busy playing games, bro. He's not out here talking about FTC bullshit.
It's for the fallopian tubes. He doesn't have time.
He's playing at 30 frames.
Hey, this is your only friend, the YouTube Streets, Puertorock77. I hope you enjoyed this another episode 60
Hit the like button.
I think this is episode 245. I think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you better start counting them.
I am. I put it in the description now. So that way I keep track. Yeah. So it's like at the top of the description.
I'll put it on the title so people are like, "Yo, this has been going on for a long time."
That takes up too much space.
I see.
It takes too much space for the title script. But anyway, hey, watch out for another PlayStation Method video drop.
Please do.
Hell yeah.
I love those videos, man.
Damn right. I love those videos. And I'm focusing more on the education and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you got to bring out that professor. And anyway, I'll see you guys next week for another 60 Frames No Lag. To the chat, thank you so much. Thank you for rocking out. I really, truly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the topics and the conversation and stuff like that. If you're new to the channel, stick around. Enjoy the crew. Enjoy the family. Subscribe, like, do all that good stuff so I can see you consistently. You know what I'm saying? That way we all could dive in. We call dive in a pool. We call be like, got a pool full of bitches and we dive in. Nah, I'm playing. Let me stop. Oh shit, the misogyny's coming out of me. Sorry, my apologies. So
pay for your games.
I will pray. I will
pay for your games.
I will. You know what I'm saying? I'll do my.
No, subscribe to Game Pass.
That's it. Subscribe to Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? There you go. All right, we're out of here.
Hey, don't subscribe to Game Pass. Subscribe to P-Rock instead. You got content.
All right, you guys take care. Peace.